Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Sultans of Shadilay podcast. I am joined tonight by Cap Stasher and, as always, Trim.
Shadilay.
Oh, there.
So, just before we get right into the news, couple of quick bits of housekeeping. Firstly, Caps has been a legend and has put together a lovely list of stuff to go through tonight, so we'll get to that in due order. But first, I'm going to do some pimping for our good friend, the Silver Alchemist, C.S. Cooper. He has a sexy little website up where if you want to get some of his stuff. I grabbed some audiobooks today and I'm looking forward to seeing how well they turn out. If you are interested in getting some of the audiobooks on the cheap, over on his Minds page, which is at the Silver Alchemist, he has a discount code for both his website and Smashwords. And over on Smashwords, you can get his earliest books for like $2 US.
It's a steal, y'all.
It is a steal. Especially go to supporting part of our community of sexy friends.
Ew.
They're all very hot.
Yes, indeed. Hello to you, Solomon. Billy Blogs asks, where did you guys meet each other? We all met in the gold tier Zoom calls for the Lotus Eaters.
I think it was in April, right?
Yeah, and it was in April, and we are now rocking episode 9 of our weekly podcast.
Lovely.
Right, so let's jump right into the cool stuff. So, firstly, oops, the rainbow crosswalk in front of City Hall in Chicago. Over fucking night by the looks of it. From lovely and colory to oopsie-a-doozies.
Oh well, where's the inclusion? Where's the standing with the intersectional with the LGBT plus UP whatever fuck? Oh my
Well,
God.
obviously, it's not an intersection then.
Yes, it turns out that the moment Pride Month is over, they don't get extra bonus points for virtue signaling, so it all disappears.
So it's not just corporations, now it's government bodies as well.
Yep.
That as soon as the month of June is over, back to black and white.
Yep, it is literally the meme.
Really?
Literally the Star Wars meme of painting over it on July 1st.
Yeah, back to black and white.
The meme even has the right shades of gray.
Exactly. It's beautiful. Solomon Guthrie says, how? It's the second? How? We asked for pothole filling and it takes years. Potholes don't win votes, Solomon.
Yeah, of course.
Literally overnight. Literally overnight.
This is so beautiful. Oh, this is so wonderful. And everyone on Twitter is just spurging out.
Yep, it's
good.
Absolutely brilliant. Exactly what we want to see. And yeah, Twitter is being standard Twitter fags.
It is amazing. Bundle of sticks, dude. Bundle of sticks. Come on.
Twitter, or as I like to call it, far left platform.
Susan Wojcicki needs a totally consensual fucking the cunt out of her.
Yeah.
Whoa. We can't talk about our lords and masters like that.
I said totally consensual.
Come on. If anyone wants to take one for the team and give Susan Wojcicki some stick, then go ahead. She probably doesn't get it.
I don't think anyone does. Yeah. Hey, we have someone here.
Second has joined us. Hello.
Yes. Good evening, chap.
Yeah, we have just.
So, what do we hear from our dear progressives today?
Well, the rainbow.
A lot of shrieking, and no rainbows. Wonderful.
Yep. The rainbow crosswalk has gone poof overnight. Back to a proper legal crosswalk.
Wait, what? Go back. They have a white stripe?
How dare they?
Wow.
Well,
How vibrant.
no. It's obviously because it's part of the trans flag. They just forgot to complete it.
Speaking of white things, I think there's maybe 3 or 4 white people in this entire fucking photo.
Sounds about right. That's the population of Chicago.
It doesn't look like the population of Chicago. None of their pants are around their knees, and I don't see anyone stabbing someone.
Yeah, I see Mayor Zombie Fish, though, so I mean...
Mayor Zombie Fish?
Yes.
Glory!
Beelzebub.
Oh, God. She got flies on her.
Yep. Yes, fair and balanced as all things should be.
Holy shit.
Perfectly balanced as all things should be.
Yeah, until Captain Marvel comes along and fucks it up.
Yeah, Billy Bloggs has a good point. I'd find it funny if someone got run over on the rainbow and was not prosecuted because the markings weren't official/legal. Oh, fuck, that'd be glorious. But it's Chicago. I'm sure the prosecutors wouldn't care about something inconvenient like facts.
No, listen. If someone got ran over on the Rainbow Crosswalk, the victim would be sued because they left blood all over the crosswalk.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
How dare
they die? How dare they die upon all this inclusion?
Well, red is the color of life. Some shit.
Yeah, some bullshit like that. Oh, they do have a red stripe. They are communists.
Oh, comrade.
Yeah.
Does that mean that red is the color of bread and bread lines?
For you, Bernie, we'll make that exception.
But you see, that's clearly the wrong flag because the LGBT flag has changed since then. Would you mind showing them what the new one is?
Well,
oh yes,
Solomon, that
like
is
3 times in this fucking month.
Well,
the
Solomon,
new
actually
LGBTQ flag. Yes,
is that real?
It's as real as all the others. It's as real as all the others.
Oh my! Wait,
made it.
Can you post it on Discord?
Yeah, I made it.
It's in the inner sanctum.
Okay, I was gonna say like.
Well, you
that
see,
one?
the trans and race triangle and the bi and race triangle are actually real parts. I just added the lesbian and the gay triangles as they should be. And then inside you have the circle of the intersex people and the homosexual Jewish prisoner insignia that I think the LGBTQ lobby would like to reclaim.
Yep. Oh my god.
Oh boy, what? How much are you willing to bet that we'll actually get this flag very fucking soon?
If not this, it'll be something very similar.
It's only a matter of time, guys.
Well, you see,
the rainbow gets smaller every day.
They need to add like a female sign, then an atheist symbol, and then like an Islamic symbol. And then,
Don't forget the hammer and sickle.
Yeah, exactly. Have it be everyone.
But guys,
the flag for everyone except straight, white, cis, Christian, capitalist males.
I mean, there's a lot of white in that one. It's a lot of white there.
Now, hang on. I gotta remind you guys what pride actually stands for.
Money?
Because you would think it stands for LGBT, but no, it stands for this.
God.
Happy
dear God.
Defund the police.
Honor indigenous land of people.
Dismantle white supremacy and capitalism. Yay!
Oh, Solomon Guthrie's has a good idea. Make a progressive Confederate flag.
Yes.
Yeah, it's close. It's close to that already.
Very close.
Kind of looks like a Scottish flag, though, if it was on acid.
Oh, yeah, that's fitting for Scotland. I'm sure
Fucking-
the SMP will change it to this any day now.
Yes, the National Socialist Party of Scotland. Yes, I'm sure they will change their flag to be this soon.
Look at memes. This one's good.
Okay, give me 2
Oh
seconds.
man.
Oh, that is good.
The 70R got a good one.
Well, I think we should listen to the words of C.S. Lewis on pride. According to the Christian teachers, the essential vice, the utmost evil is pride. Unchastity, anger, greed, drunkenness, and all that are mere flea bites in comparison. It was through pride that the devil became the devil. Pride leads to every other vice. It is the complete anti-God state of mind.
That's also why he's the first homunculi and also the second most OP homunculi.
No,
The
pride.
most OP. The most OP one is without a doubt Bradley himself.
Bradley is my favorite, but no, pride is more OP than Bradley.
He gets fucking owned by flashbangs. Brad is just a dude with a sword and one eye off, and is like, fuck it, I'll take on a fucking tank.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I'll win.
if Bradley had regeneration like the others, I would agree with.
Oh yeah, but he doesn't need regeneration. He's a man.
Well,
That's
yeah,
his
exactly.
ability.
That's what makes him a Chad.
It's not the eye, actually. His superpower is pure undiluted testosterone.
He bought Alex Jones's male vitality pills.
Have you guys seen Alex Jones before and after the male vitality?
What, is that the side-by-side where he just looks redder in the second
Yes.
Oh my god, that has to exist.
I'll be sad if it
Oh,
doesn't.
I'm looking up
I have it.
Confederate pride flag. So that means that... Oh, yeah. Oh, God. That means I'm going to end up on a watch list by the NSA.
Oh, the Confederate
Aren't
pride
you
flag
already
is
on a
already
watch
thing.
list?
I've seen it before.
I mean, honestly,
Oh, yeah,
if you're
I mean,
not
I
on a
voted
watch
for
list,
Trump,
you're not
so the
doing things
NSA is,
right.
like, spying on me.
Yeah. All the fun people are on the watch list.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All my friends are on watch lists. Well, except for the pedo watch lists. I have a tendency of avoiding those, and if I
Well,
get
yeah.
close to them, I tend to be having something stabby close by.
Well, wasn't that a thing in, like, London where Sadiq Khan is like, oh, yes, I'm gonna pour, like, fucking, I don't know, millions of dollars into a police hub for, like, policing speech on Twitter. But no, we just don't have the time or resources to pay attention to these 40 fucking people that came back into London from fucking ISIS.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Oh, just how long ago was that?
I'm
Didn't
genuinely
Khan
scared
do a
of
rant on
setting
that?
foot in London.
Well, apparently, you're rapidly getting to the point where it's more dangerous in London than in bloody New York.
Yeah. I think it overtook it. It overtook New York by crimes per capita.
Oh, really?
Hey,
Wasn't London called the stabbing capital of the world once?
Probably. Yeah. I think it's been called that several times.
Indiscriminate murder is just part and parcel of living in a big city.
Oh, God. Who said that? Wasn't that a French thing?
Sadiq Khan, actually. I think.
Sadiq Khan, yeah.
What?
Yeah, the progressive mayor of London.
Let's London. Look at memes. CDR, that's a good one. Let's London too. Let's London.
In 2018, London's murder rate overtakes New York's.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Thank you, Sadiq Khan.
In 1997, when a robotic voice on the radio say "around the world" 30 times, around the world, around the world.
It's funny how
Around
when
the
Sadiq Khan stops the British version of Stop and Frisk, the stabbing rate goes up phenomenally.
No, it's crazy.
Weird. It's as if it helps stop and search.
So, did you guys know the mayor of New York way back when, Rudy Giuliani, he was very good at taking New York's crime way down, and some people in Scotland took his plan and applied it to their city, and the same thing happened. And then they suggested to Sadiq Khan, "Hey, maybe you should do this as well," and he said no.
Of course not.
He refused to do it.
It wouldn't be inclusive,
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got the article up now. London's murder rate overtakes New York's from 2nd of April 2018, and this is on the BBC, and you know how unlikely they are to want to admit that. Yeah.
That's beautiful. You actually make the fucking BBC admit it.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Just scroll down to the graph. That's amazing.
That's beautiful. How sad is that? So in January, for those of you who aren't watching, in January it shows New York being twice the amount of murders as London, about 18, compared to 8 or 9-ish for London. Then in February, there's about 11 for New York, 15 for London. And then in March, they both decide to up their games, and we have about 21-ish for New York and 22-ish for London. Yeah, Solomon, that's not exactly something where you want to be at the top.
London #1, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he got the memo. It's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
It's fucking disgusting, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah, youth club leader describes an increasing level of violence among teenagers. And what nationality would those teenagers and their parents be? Go on, tell me.
Not
I
even
dare
that.
you.
I wonder, how many of these teenagers have a father at home?
My guess would be 1 in 50 or 60.
Maybe.
That makes
If
sense.
we're gonna be generous.
Well, that seems about reasonable for a number that I'm pulling out of my ass. And it's probably still more accurate than the BBC's reporting.
I'm not gonna fucking doubt that.
There's a good idea. Britain should get independence from London. Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah? I'd enjoy that.
And California should be removed from the American society. Sorry, sorry the few people I know from California, but
I think the rest of the Union should independently declare California to be an independent nation, then invade.
And invade
Yeah.
that shit. Yes.
I think states should be allowed to vote on kicking out other states from the Union. If no one wants them there, they should be able to kick them out.
California gone overnight.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? Well,
significant improvement in the happiness of all
Valley.
citizens.
Just Silicon Valley. Just remove that off the map of the earth.
No, Silicon Valley is a bit too small. You see, you need the whole of Los Angeles.
I mean, if I could remove two places, like not countries, but just 2 areas, it would be Silicon Valley and Beijing.
Portland.
Beijing's a pretty good choice.
Yeah, Beijing's a pretty good choice. Okay. In that case, Beijing and Portland.
And we'll talk about China later on tonight.
True, we will. China.
Bad.
Look, frankly, you look over at China, they're growing. And what is Joe Biden doing about it? Okay.
Absolutely nothing. So,
With the mention of Trump, I think it's time to look at the Lotus Eaters.
Yes, I think it is time to get into the after show now that we have ripped apart half the planet from their stupidity. So, Trump's team has launched Getter. A very interesting idea, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes, but I would not recommend trying to sign up at the moment. The system is clearly not working properly.
Why not?
It's just not working.
Oh.
I would have named it Grabber.
Yes, Grabber.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm afraid that name was taken, but I think they would have went for that if they could.
Ah,
It's so
sad.
beautiful.
I made an account, and it seems to work fine for me.
Yeah, you might have got
It's just
lucky.
not many people are there yet.
Yeah, I was having issues where this website just would not accept the authentication codes. So,
That's odd.
and maybe it's falling over from time to time.
Just wait
It's
until more
at the
stable.
beginning, you know. Makes
But-
sense.
We do at least get to have a look at some important accounts. Lotus Eaters, 123 followers already, and Carl himself has 115.
Yeah.
What do they say about free speech in their terms and conditions? I wonder.
Well,
Do they have any restrictions?
Shall not be infringed, I hope.
No. Because here's the thing. When Trump joined Rumble, which he did recently, there's rumors that he forced them into putting in caveats to the speech on the website, especially no acceptance for racism, anti-Semitism, and stuff like that. Andrew Torba, the guy that runs Gab, he's the one that pointed this out. But I haven't checked the what do you call it, the terms and conditions for Rumble before, so I'm not sure if that was there before Trump joined or was something that was added after.
It's
okay,
gonna be fascinating. to
interesting.
watch.
So I'm not seeing anything yet, but rights of others, yep. Intellectual property rights, cool, good. Third-party services, no one cares, good stuff. User-generated content, here we go. Let's see. So Getter may now in the future offer users of the service the opportunity to create blah 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 blah, submit their own crap. Holy hell, lots and lots of stuff. Basically just covering their asses.
You should.
Your user-generated content will be treated as non-confidential and non-proprietary by Getter.
All right, here we go. Yeah, that's it's not good. Getter holds the freedom of speech as its core value and does not wish to censor your opinions. Nonetheless, you may not post on or transmit through the service any unlawful, harmful, threatening, abusive, harassing, defamatory, libelous, indecent, vulgar, obscene, sexually explicit, pornographic, profane, hateful, racially, ethnically, or otherwise questionable material of any kind, including any material that encourages the conduct that would constitute a criminal offense, give rise to civil liability, or otherwise violate any law, rule, or regulation of the laws applicable to you or applicable in the country in which the material is posted.
Yeah, honestly,
So
that does
basically, Anthony's
sound.
gonna have a hard time.
That does sound pretty
No.
liberal for a social media
mean, you
site.
know,
It sounds like it's
Hateful,
just us
it
covering, but yeah.
uses the keyword hateful, which could mean anything.
Yeah.
But everyone does.
Yeah,
that
but
nowadays.
it's like
again, I'm not gonna. I'm
I
not gonna
trust
start,
it a bit more to actually
Yeah.
not interpret it in a retarded way.
I hope so, but I can't put my
My
faith
gut
in
Yeah.
that.
feeling tells me they're gonna at least have some more standards accordingly compared to the other sites. But
Yeah.
again, this might be wishful thinking. But considering the people making it, I just have a little bit more faith.
Yeah. Like, it's not. It doesn't sound specifically like they use hateful as broadly as the other groups use it, but it does sound like it's been written very carefully by lawyers to cover their asses, because some dumb shit countries like England and Scotland have laws against hateful content, so I think Get is covering their ass from potential legal issues with those countries.
I hope it's just that, and they're not.
God,
actually
I
gonna
do
act.
hope so too.
We reserve the
Well,
right.
if they
in
wanted
our
to
sole
cover their
discretion-
asses, they could have just got the NSA to write it for them.
No,
well,
the
if you
NSA
get the
hates
NSA
Trump,
to
remember?
write anything, they'll introduce code to hack your website, backdoor your website whenever they want. Don't let them write anything, not even just plain text.
Reserve the right to look at your shit when you don't watch.
No. They say we reserve the right in our sole discretion to remove your profile and/or deny, restrict, suspend, or terminate your access to all or any part of the interactive community for any reason.
Yeah.
So,
A bit sus, bitches.
the next part is also.
Yeah, if you become aware of misuse of the interactive community, including any unlawful, harmful, threatening, abusive, harassing, defamatory, vulgar, obscene, sexually explicit, profane, hateful, racially, ethnically, or otherwise objectionable material of any kind, material that encourages blah 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 blah, please contact us. Yawn.
Yep.
Like that
Oh
one.
boy.
Then they have their
Again, it could have been
copper
worse.
bullshit, no
Could be
children
worse.
under 13, da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, they restrict the access of children, but at the same time, they don't let, adult content be posted.
What?
They also,
Yeah,
they also
It says
say...
no obscene pornographic material allowed.
They also say
I
that you
mean-
cannot use the service for any unauthorized commercial purpose, including without limitation for purposes of advertising, soliciting funds, collecting product prices, and selling products. Cool, so
Thank
that
God.
limits just about everything the Lotus Eaters do on social media.
Yeah, probably.
Sorry, I was just
Well,
thinking
maybe
about
they
the
could-
fucking beggars who just pop out randomly on fucking Twitter. It's like, oh, I have a problem. Please give money. Give money.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they should use it until they're actually banned from it.
Oh, absolutely.
And if they are banned from it, we'll know that's a hard limit they set.
Yeah, very interesting. Then there's generic DMCA bullshit. But that's fair. Termination.
Yeah, this is. It's a good idea that we should look through this.
Yeah.
Also, I might.
Oh, here we go. Arbitration and dispute terms. Gesser and you agreed that it would be advantageous to discuss and hopefully resolve any disputes before formal proceedings are initiated. Provided, however, that Getter need not do so in circumstances where it claims of blah 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 intellectual property. Party making the claim shall send the letter to the other side, briefly summarizing the claim and the request for leave. Blah 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 blah. Yep.
A lot of blah.
Yeah, it's all legal crap.
Yeah.
Yep, here we go. Arbitration of
Is that really that
claims.
surprising?
Unless you give us notice of opt-out within 5 business days of your first use of the service, addressed to 750 Lexington Avenue, blah blah blah, all actions or proceedings arising in connection with, touching upon, or relating to any dispute shall be submitted to JAMS for final and binding arbitration. Right, so that sounds fucking useless.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I don't know about you guys, but I'm saving a copy of this just in case it changes later, and I'm gonna print it out, in fact.
Actually,
Hey,
that
guys, do
is
you
a
smell
fantastic fucking idea. I think I do smell oil.
Yeah.
Let's go do some archiving.
Hey, that oil guy. Do you have any plans for July 10th?
No.
Ah, well, July
Why?
10th is Oil Day.
Ah!
nice. They're always taking my name for shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've
Holy
also
shit,
got
22
class
pages.
action waivers, jury waivers. Jesus Christ.
What did they say about that?
Waivers?
Yep, as permitted by applicable law, both you and Getter waive the right to bring any dispute as a class, consolidate blah 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 general action, or to participate in a class action. Jury waiver, as permitted by applicable law, the parties hereby waive their right to jury trial with respect to all claims and issues arising under in connection with, touching upon, or relating to these terms. So you can't sue them, and if you do, you can't have a jury trial.
That's pretty shit. But I guess that is the law. You know, you can't really sue social medias for the content users post.
Yep.
But there are other things you can sue them on, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
You can't just write in your documents, well, you can't really sue us for anything. That's not how the law works.
No, the law will go, screw you, they can, sometimes, but...
No, well, we'll see.
Like a lawyer has gone through that like a fucking industrial saw, just picking through everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hope my printer won't be too loud.
Well, I mean, I can imagine why. I mean, as soon as that went up, there's probably like a lot of like dipshits, like Media Matters and Right Wing Watch and fucking lefty lawyers who are trying to already like scheming, trying to find any way they can to pull the site offline.
Yeah, absolutely. Wouldn't surprise me entirely. Yeah. But I hope that despite all the legal shenanigans they've given themselves rights to, they'll elect to actually act in a reasonable manner.
They're all.
I missed the show. I missed the show today. So is this Trump's new thing? Is that?
Yeah, this is Trump's new social media thing.
What's it called?
Getter. G-E-T-T-R.
I said it should be called Grabber, but.
Okay, I'll have to go and register with that then, I guess.
Yeah, just what we needed, another social media platform. Hopefully this one does at least not act like bastards.
We can hope. The fuck is that?
Get on that later before it's bad.
Oil is apparently falling down a flight of stairs by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Gently jogging down, what's it done? Echoey in there, that's all.
Solomon Guthrie says before long, Cloudflare bans it won't surprise me. Robert Longshore agrees with you second that Grabber would have been better.
Yeah.
More funny.
Base.
App Store, let's have a look. So what is it?
Imagine the constant fucking shrieking from the media. He called it Grabber.
How did you spell it?
Grabber. G-R-A-B-B-R. Ah, that's Grabber. God damn it. Damn you guys.
It's a better name, okay?
It is.
I'm not finding it.
Getter. G-E-T-T-R. My apologies.
Oh, Getter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seconds convinced me that Grabber would be a better name so much.
I mean, am I wrong?
Go Getter.
You're definitely not wrong. So...
Yeah, it's not coming up for me. That's not coming up at all.
It might be having teething issues.
Minor technical issues.
Yep.
Oh, I don't like the color scheme much. No, that's not. No, it's... Getter is a business thing. It's not a... I'm not getting this as a... We're not getting that on the App Store at all.
It's amazing how I'm only getting...
Someone give the guy the link. Come on.
Yeah, I'll throw him the
articles
link.
about it.
I've thrown the link in general. So,
yeah.
Labour
Fucking
and their
weird how
local
it
candidate
doesn't
for
fucking
Palestine.
come up. It's weird how
What?
it doesn't come up on Google. Just articles about it.
Yeah, very interesting.
They're obviously suppressing it.
Yeah.
You guys still
They're-
use
they're
Google?
so-
What's
they're-
wrong with you?
They're so fucking shameless.
Yeah, they truly are.
Alright, installing that.
Yeah, so. Kim Leadbeater, your local Labour candidate for Palestine. Let's see what she is in favour of, shall we?
Here we go again.
How does she feel about the gays, though?
Well, she's in favour of Palestine, so she probably doesn't think highly of them.
Wait. I think she really likes to give them fresh air under their wings.
Yeah, maybe. So, let's see. Dear friend.
Gives them all a free skydiving trip.
Yep. Dear friend, as Batley and Spen's Labour MP, I will be a strong voice for Palestinian human rights and statehood. Who the fuck in Batley and Spen gives a toss about what the Palestinians are up to?
They're Muslims.
I'm pretty sure the guys in Batley and Spen are more interested in what they can get from the British government for them.
Yeah, but that is if you're not a woke piece of shit.
Yeah, I suppose.
What? You don't care about the situation in Palestine?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't give a flying fuck.
What kind of British citizen are you?
I'm a Norwegian citizen. We used to rape British before, remember?
I wasn't here back then.
What?
Look, I think we should just make Palestine and
Well,
Israel British
We
colonies.
still do, but we left some worthy successors in Aberdeen.
Oh dear. Yeah, so, yep, complaining about the use of rubber bullets and stun grenades at a holy site. Right, okay. And? What are they meant to do?
At least
Would
they
you
didn't
rather they
die.
use real bullets?
Probably they just wanted to use hand grenades, you know? Get to the holy after thingy faster, I guess.
Yeah.
Alright, it's all printed out. It's all stapled together. Both the terms of use and the privacy policy. If this changes, I have the physical proof that it did.
Nice.
Jesus Christ, you work fast.
No, I've
Yep.
got the printer right here.
Yes.
I'm not gonna run to a Xerox office or something.
Yeah, but
you know?
your screen is a goddamn box TV. Your tech is ancient. It's like, hey, look, here we go. Look,
No,
TV
just
magic.
because just because I have an old TV, that doesn't mean all the tech I have is ancient.
Yeah. Printer
Well-
goes burr.
Yeah, printer goes burr.
Mm.
You know,
Gypsy
See,
goes
someone
click, click,
knows.
Yep, so the Labour candidate for Palestine says she will use her voice to amplify calls to coordinate international action against illegal settlement expansion. Oh, so she's against immigration.
Of course.
Wait, does that mean she's against the immigration of Palestinians and
Well,
Iranians?
if she's got an
against illegal immigration.
so if she's got an issue with the Israelis going into Palestine, can we have her take issue with the Palestinians going into Britain? Can we, please?
No.
No,
They're
that makes
fleeing
too much
war,
sense.
don't you know?
Economic
war they
war.
started.
you know?
Well,
That's a-
let's not point fingers here.
The dumbest word ever is economic refugees. Oh,
Yeah.
There's no
no,
such
I'm
thing as an
fleeing
economic
because my-
refugee.
I have a shit job. I have
Listen,
to
it's-
flee.
And I'll tell you this because I moved because of economic reasons, but I took the legal route. I didn't come here as a refugee. My country is not a war-torn third world country. It's just a second world country with a bad economy. I came here the legal route. I'm sure everyone else can do that.
Speaking about Romania, right?
Yeah.
Don't
see,
you have a
well, we
vampire
can't-
problem?
Stop people from coming in. The only thing we can do is just give like crates of cash to like foreign governments for some reason.
Yeah, but
See,
here's the thing.
here's the thing.
The money
You
usually
can
gets
stop
to
them
the
from coming in.
close
It's
the
just
border.
that, well, I was going to suggest that we station a couple of destroyers in the English Channel, and well, there goes the problem. Problem solved.
Wait, don't.
Or-
Doesn't Pretty have Pretty Patel has a good? I think it's Pretty's idea.
Yeah.
A really good solution. They get
Send
the
him to
people
Rwanda.
on the mainland, then take them on a boat and send them down to Africa.
Yep, ship them to
Yeah,
Rwanda.
I do like that one. I'm
I
hoping to
love
get the
that.
contract to build those.
Oh boy.
Build those
That would be
cabins
If
funny.
you do, let us know.
Pay
It'll
someone
be
else to
so
take care of
funny
the
to have
problem.
insider info.
I will definitely be trying to find if I can bid for it. Yeah, I'll build you. Yeah, I'll build
Oh,
you a
man.
camp.
Yep, play some one-sided battleships with them.
I'll be looking up the old Coldit schematics.
Nice. Just don't look at Polish 1940 installations, okay?
Yeah. Extra large shower block.
Right next to the heater. Holy shit.
Hang on, I gotta find out if this news story is real. Because I might have
So
a funny
glad
news
none of my
story for
family
you
is
guys.
listening to this thing.
Alright, so what's going on in Batley and Spen? Well, what went down in Batley and Spen?
Well, nothing good for the people, nothing good for the British citizens there. That's for sure.
Yeah. Oh boy.
What happened there again? I'm a bit fuzzy on the memory.
We've just been talking about.
Oh yeah, that. Oh shit. Yeah.
What do you guys think of Galloway? He seems like a fun guy.
I mean,
He's
I
been around
like the
forever, you
interviews.
know. It's...
I like the interviews, but doesn't Galloway have that where he's able to just sneak into everything?
Yeah, but he's a full-blown communist, you know, and he's he's been around for a long time in the UK. Everyone knows him.
Yeah. But then again, when a full-blown communist goes against the Labour Party, holy shit.
Oh yeah, because they're not communist enough. That's
Communism
pretty
hasn't
much...
been tried, guys.
Real communism hasn't been tried before.
Exactly.
Well, it has been tried, but it's when it fucking kills everyone again and
But
again.
that wasn't
and
real
again,
communism,
and
Trim. You've
again.
got to listen to the leftists.
And again.
I don't understand why people on the right keep complaining about this. Every time communism kills people, it only kills communists.
Well, communists and the unlucky bastards who stuck beside them.
Yeah, it's the unlucky bastards, like the fucking people
Like the
coming to
kulaks.
the U.S. from Venezuela and Cuba.
Yeah.
The
the
poor
Kool-Aid.
guys
Honestly,
who
fuck it.
worked
Just
their
give
way up.
immediate refugee status and citizenship to anyone who flees to the U.S. from Venezuela or Cuba.
At this
What
point,
you said-
can we have immediate asylum and his permanent residency in, I don't know, Florida
Kong?
for Australians?
Oh,
Make
boy,
every
nice.
Australian Florida man.
Like, if I had the fucking opportunity, I'd move to Florida or Texas in a heartbeat.
Based.
I mean, if
I'll
I'd
say
been in
this
any other
again.
country but Norway, I would have done the same.
I'll say this again, you guys are sleeping on New Hampshire. It's becoming the libertarian capital of the world.
Really? Are we talking Heinlein libertarian or the
I
It's small L
libertarian?
libertarian. Not
Ah.
like, libertarian party.
Well, it's a start.
Why should I need a license to drive? What's next? Needing a license to use a toaster?
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Of course you need a fucking license to
Based.
drive.
I'd argue you should need a license to use a toaster as well. There's a lot of fucking mentalists around.
Well,
That
I'm
is actually true. We actually removed the toaster because someone managed to fucking almost set the fucking restaurant on fire.
Jesus
Have a look at
An
this.
old lady, of course.
Was it one of those?
Oh my god.
Was it
That's
one of those?
based.
Was it one of those ones with the conveyor belt?
What?
Was it one of those toasters with the conveyor belt inside?
Yeah, conveyor belt goes around, then there's a chute that drops the bread through, it heats on top and the bottom, it's a slow fucking machine.
And it doesn't
Oh,
toast
God.
it enough, so they put it in again, and then it goes on fire.
Oh, either it toasted, you know, there's so many dials and shit, I managed to find the perfect, you know, the
It's like a
perfect
fighter
setting,
jet cockpit,
and then I just disconnected the fucking I disconnected the dials, so it always just kept to the perfect toaster because everyone were fucking around with the fucking dials. They're like, oh my god, it's burning!
No, you have to adjust it for humidity and the phase of the moon to keep it.
yes, and whether Saturn is in retrograde to Mars or some bullshit.
Or what
that's
Chinese New Year is.
That's not a fucking joke. If you're trying to control humidity in anything, you have to adjust for the phase of the moon. That's literally true. That's not a joke.
This is gonna be one of those things where we say like, oh yeah, I guess that makes sense, and then he's gonna start laughing. He's like, haha, you retards actually believed it.
Just commune with this ocean god Njord, and he just tells me how it's gonna be. So you know, works for me.
The phase of the moon affects water absorption rates. In everything.
Intriguing.
So what phase of the moon is Cardi B's mop and bucket most effective in?
The dark side of the moon.
It's the gravitational force of water. Bizarrely, the moon's gravitational force affects water absorption.
Oh my god! You see, of course, I'm going to the beach this weekend, and of course, I check the moon, and it's a fucking quarter moon. That
You got a problem with quarters?
Well, I mean, the thing is, if I'm going to the beach, I'd rather it be a new moon or a full moon. A quarter moon is like the worst time in the cycle for waves.
Ah.
Well.
Oh yeah, almost as if it affected the water somehow.
Almost.
Know that.
The moon has nothing to do with water. What are you talking about?
No, the moon is actually
the moon has a lot of. It's the reason for tidal forces.
Next you're gonna tell me the moon controls the tides.
Well, you see, is the moon like?
We've lost it.
Mentioning New Hampshire, I dropped something in their sanctum that you guys should check out.
Oh, the Free State Project.
Yeah.
Right, I recruit at least 20,000 libertarians to move to a single low-population state, in order to make the state a stronghold for libertarian values. Interesting idea.
Yeah.
I love that they have a porcupine as their insignia, you know? Like, don't fucking touch me, leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah, it makes sense, you know?
It does.
It's perfect! Makes more sense than a fucking... Well, the donkey actually makes sense for gems, but...
Wait, isn't the
they're
moon
always
actually...
making an ass of themselves.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't the moon like actually a fucking white fish with a black dot on it?
Actually, it's a white fish with a black dot on it, and a black fish with a white dot on it.
No, the black fish with a white dot on it is the ocean, right?
I don't remember, actually.
Yeah, the black fish with the white dot on it.
Which mythology are you into? And I think it is connected. Fuck.
No.
Yeah, the black fish with the white dot on it is the spirit.
Oh, yeah. Wait, which one did the fucking the chick become again?
The whitefish with the black dot.
What are you guys talking about?
Avatar, the first series, the good one.
Oh,
Jesus
okay,
Christ.
all right, yeah.
I mean,
So a moment of
Korra
silence for the passing of a moment of silence for the passing of Salim Bradley-Mont.
Moment of
Yeah.
silence for Trim's dignity.
I don't have
What do you
dignity.
mean?
What are you talking about?
Wait,
Fucking
what?
weebs
No,
just start
no,
waffling crap.
no. Avatar and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood are lit.
They
yeah,
are,
it's
but
fucking-
fuck me, you've got to tell us what you're talking about when you just start randomly waffling shit.
Well, we kind of assumed you were fucking knowledgeable in this great series. Fuck you, man. You say you have nothing but time to waste, and you don't spend it on something like Avatar: The Last Airbender or Full Metal Alchemist
I
Brotherhood?
watched
Come on.
Avatar years ago.
I watch it again. Apparently, haven't heard anything.
To be fair, not everyone's a Spurg.
Avatar is pretty good though.
But isn't the best one?
Yeah, but I'm not a spurg like you guys.
Well, technically, you're the actual kind of Spurg. I'm just the internet kind of Spurg, I guess.
You don't call an autistic person a spurg. That's just bad taste. You call your friends spurgs when they're acting autistic.
Wait, so I've been doing it wrong to one of my best friends for 5 years now? Shit. Well, he also likes to say Aspie supremacy, and sometimes I don't doubt that either.
Yeah. That
Autism
word
is
just
my
makes me
superpower.
want to fucking stab people.
Yeah,
To be
who
fair, another-
named a fucking who named it Asper? Why?
Yeah. And to be
Well,
fair, an
Asperger's
autistic
is
person isn't a
easy.
Spurg.
But Aspie makes me want to fucking kill people. Of course they named it Asperger's.
But
it was a...
But
in
the
fact-
SPGF meme is pretty good.
Aspie sounds like a weird fucking skin disease.
It aims to be a mental disorder. Anyone on the internet who calls themselves an Aspie's fucking got something wrong with them other than autism.
Yeah,
Aspie
but, I mean,
sounds more like a fucking strange color palette.
there's a significant difference between Asperger's and autism, though, to be fair.
Yes, there is in a technical realm,
mean-
but
I'm not one of those autistic fucking losers, you know?
That's our oiled. Shoots everyone.
So it was
Well,
named after Hans
autism-
Asperger.
yes.
Autism, nightmare, Spurg, full-on superpowers.
No. Shyness is a superpower.
What?
Wow.
What?
Now, having heightened cognitive abilities and spatial awareness capabilities that make you hundreds of thousands of pounds a year are superpowers.
No,
having
schizophrenia
money
is a
gives you
superpower.
superpowers. Being rich is a superpower nowadays, guys.
Well, no
How
shit.
vibrant.
Batman's been around for a while.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of funny. I have a Jewish friend, and me and him took an IQ test, like just some online one, and I scored like higher than him, specifically because of the spatial awareness stuff.
Because you're an engineer, guys. You're an engineer. He's an
Well,
engineer.
yeah. Well, also
Let's
he's
go,
he's
engineer.
ethnically Jewish, and apparently ethnic Jews have like these like pretty high verbal math IQs, but like lower spatial.
Yeah, that's why they can't catch a ball.
Well,
Or jump
good
out of
thing
an
they
oven.
installed Iron Dome.
Oh, Solomon, I just saw the last. Oh wait, yeah.
Where
So
where
long,
are you at?
little fruits. Did any of you see that Freedom Tunes where like the NSA is spying on Tucker Carlson, and every NSA guy they
Code
get
12.
to spy on him just gets converted?
Oh.
We got another code 12.
Speaking of
Yeah.
that, The NSA is spying on Tucker Carlson. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
That's
Really that
genuinely
surprising?
terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, as a Norwegian looking in, it doesn't really surprise me.
No,
Yeah, I mean,
it's not
I would be
surprising, but
if I was
to have
Tucker, I'd be
actual
offended if they weren't.
to have actual confirmation that a government entity is spying on journalists of the opposition is pretty bad.
I think it's absolutely to be expected.
Well, we know that the NSA is spying on Tucker Carlson. Why would they
NSA
do
are
that?
spying on you. They're spying
Well-
on you individually, you as well.
Well, we know why.
I'm
It's
not
because the White House under Joe Biden considers right-wingers a national security threat.
The NSA spying on everyone, who, regardless of politics. Like those fuckers
Fucking
have
laugh.
anything resembling ethics.
Fucking laugh
Ethics are
for
for
a second.
Ethics are
What?
just for people without power.
What was that, Trim?
That laugh you had at the end of your speech.
Yeah.
Ooh, conservative.
Ooh.
One might wonder why the NSA isn't watching Antifa or BLM. Certainly, they've burned more buildings down. But no, they're watching us, and that should terrify you.
It does.
I mean, if the NSA watches outside of the country as well, I mean, if they watch at my computer,
Well, if
I'm
they're not
pretty sure
watching
there's a few
outside of their
scarred
country, they're outside the country, they're failing at their primary fucking directive.
If
They're
somebody was
supposed to look
watching-
outside America.
Somebody was watching Trim, they'd just be like, his computer,
Damn, he
they'd
has
just
good
be
taste.
jacking it.
yeah, I mean, I just feel sorry for the bastard who has that job. It's like, oh no, please make it stop. Suicide rates are off the roof.
But I mean, also the NSA are clearly watching Antifa. They're watching them, you know,
From
from
the inside.
the group as they hurl the bricks. You know, it's like they're watching them through their own eyes.
Yeah.
They're right behind the gun. You know.
Oh. Hey, have you guys heard that even Antifa can't escape gender roles?
Oh, God.
Yeah, they had the women making the Molotov cocktails, the guys practice throwing them. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's old
nature
news.
almost as
always
if
comes
they're
back.
hypocrites.
They couldn't find
Well,
a
no,
nature
what's
dikes
it
to throw them.
finds a way.
There we go. Thank you. Gold blue.
Yeah, they couldn't find enough big butch shot putter dikes to throw them.
They had to go with the fucking wussy boys. I mean, can we even call Antifa male Antifa people for even something as manly as boy?
No.
Oh,
No.
be careful. You're falling into one of the points of fascism, which is believing in an enemy that is simultaneously strong and weak.
Huh. Yeah, and apparently I got this told to me on a YouTube comment section. Vosh derangement syndrome is a real thing. To which I responded, Vosh Stockholm syndrome is also a thing.
Fuck, I haven't thought about Vosh in the last, day.
Congratulations.
Why did you have to remind me of him?
Yeah.
Okay, to save all our sanities, let's go about 6 steps backwards to the story we were actually on.
What was that again? God
Batley
damn it,
and
me
Hen.
and my waffling.
Wait,
Batley and
scroll
Spen.
back down to that one guy.
Oh yes, the guy who is wanted for assaulting labour activists.
I don't know
What?
why, but that picture is like the funniest thing ever to me. Like, how they get that picture? The dude's just like staring into it, like
Yeah.
he looks
He
like
reminds
he's
me
like
of
been
someone.
caught doing something, or like he's about to stab someone.
Well,
He looks
take
more like
one
he's
look at
trying
his
to enter a
face, and he
porn
looks
store.
like he wants to stab someone.
Yeah, looks like he's that kid who was recognized by his neighbors going into the porn store?
Maybe.
Oh no,
All
Mom and
those
Dad's
other
gonna get
kids
angry.
with their pumped up kicks.
Kicks, you better run, outrun
Faster
the
than my bullet.
That's it. Fucking love that song. I just called the school shooter song for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, student of history, I did see that, and it's like, okay, so Vosh is like more based than the bread tubers who are like,
Oh yeah, I want kids watching Kink.
although I wonder if like Vosh is actually based on that issue, or if that's just him being a clever weasel and being like, no, it's bad optics.
No, it's probably just Force being like, no, I want the children I molest to be innocent before I get to them.
Yeah.
That
You
makes
know,
it
the
more
guy-
fun.
The guy in the picture reminded me of someone, and I think I found it.
Okay.
I don't know. I think Vosh likes the idea that kids would see lots of images of very tiny penises, so that they so they're not surprised by his tiny penis when they do get to see it.
Very fair and very possible. We're sticking with that one.
No, I mean,
He's-
honestly, I
He wants
do
them to see a
think
tiny
it's
penis kink, not a large penis kink.
honestly though, I do think it is an optics thing.
Probably.
I
It
think that
certainly
is
isn't a
purely
morals
his
thing.
position.
Of
It
course, it is.
certainly
All
wouldn't
the
be a
pedos
morals
are
thing.
like, oh fuck! All the pedos are like, Jesus Christ! Don't tell them that we're pedos.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you're part of NAMBLA.
Fucking hell, man! We just spent years trying to tell everybody we're not pedos. Don't they tell them we're all fucking pedos? We want to pedo some kids. Oh,
Pedos want to pee on some kids.
Yeah,
no,
probably.
pedo some kids.
Ugh,
Torpedo.
I am torpedo, set the
I mean, there's
banquero.
bound
Milk
there's bound to be some Norwegian guy called Tor that is a pedo.
Probably.
Yeah, guaranteed. Find one,
Yes.
and I'll launch him out of the fucking sub.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I
I mean, why can't we just collect pedos and use them as human test subjects for new medicine?
Well, no. I had a good idea for them actually, right? So, like in the UK, yeah. Pedos are people too, and they should be treated like people.
No.
So I've got
No.
good. Yeah. Well, let me finish. I've got a good idea, right? So, like in the UK, they're often like installing like near like small shops and things like that in community areas. They put like speakers that play a sound that only kids can hear. You know, that basically it's a frequency that when you're an adult you can't hear anymore, and it annoys the kids and it keeps them from gathering around the shops, the small shops and things like that. I say, pitch a tent, chain a pedo in there. He'll keep the kids away from the fucking, you know. And if he catches one, he gets to keep it. You know, that's that'll you know, the kids will get fit and healthy so that they can, you know, run away, get into shop and out without getting, you know, molested, and it gives the pedos something to do.
Well, nah, I still go with the wood chipper.
Would
Wait,
chipper go burr?
Yeah, pretty
I
much.
mean, they don't
Have you
really.
guys
If
have
you
you
put a
guys
person
heard
into
this?
it, they mostly go slosh.
You know, I have a suggestion. How about we
Okay.
start a new Olympic game? How many
Girl,
how
yeet the
many-
pedo?
how many pedos can you fit in a wood chipper in a set amount of time?
Depends on
will
the size
fund
of the
that.
wood chipper.
Could be a Guinness World Record.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Nice.
I feel like we should. I feel like it's a waste of a pedophile.
No.
I feel
Use
like
them for human test subjects. That's it.
I just feel like
But
they
they're
could
not
be
human.
weapon. You know, I just think that he can be
They're
weaponized.
human enough to genetically close enough to human in order to at least do medical testing.
Just seems to me like we should train them to be, you know, better pedophiles. To like a high quality, you know, like a super pedophile, and then deploy them against their enemies. You know, I think what they need is more training.
Oh my god.
The
Saying a
super pedophile. Just let him loose in like I don't know, China or something.
If you assume like I am that we're going to war within the next 10 years or whatever, I think a crack squad of super pedophiles seems like. I mean, like I would also be in favor of airdropping Glaswegians in to certain areas where we were fighting, and then just behind the enemy troops, sort of airdrop in a load of Iron Brew and Buckfast and fags and things like that, and tell them that it's just over there and let them go for it. You got to use the weapons at hand, man. And super pedophiles dropped into
I think
Beijing
it would
or whatever
be
might be quite
inhuman to do so.
Oh, yeah, but
but it's a war.
I'm a man with no empathy.
We can hear you.
Well, yeah, but you have apparently no creativity.
Super pedophiles. Excellent.
Well, no, you do have creativity, just no sense of use. No. Super pedophiles. We're not going to make them better. We're going to use them for the betterment of humanity by using them.
An apex pedophile is what I want.
Oh my god. Okay, moving on before we get flagged or put on a watch list.
You should definitely have them tagged so you know where they are. But
Okay, moving on from pedophiles for 5 fucking minutes.
Okay, before we go on, there's this jingle I heard. Have any one of you heard this one? There's a creepy old man sitting in a park, and the only problem is he tied a candy bar to the end of his line. He's trying to catch a kid. Have you heard that one?
No, I haven't heard that one.
But I'm not gonna lie. When you started, I thought it was.
Oh yeah.
That's racist.
No, it's not. You can't be racist against
I'm offended. Jeg har blitt krenket. Jeg har blitt krenket av en amerikaner. Herregud, verden står ikke
Trim,
til påske.
shut up.
Okay, so the cathedral once again proves its existence and how incestuous of a relationship journalists.
You guys really gotta stop using that word. It's
journalist.
Nepotistic. No. Well, that as well. I've seen someone recommended use journalists instead of journalists because that's what they are.
Was it PewDiePie who said journalist?
I don't know, but I've
heard the quartering.
I think
quartering says it all the time.
Yeah, the quartering. Maybe sticks. I'm not sure. No, the quartering definitely. Anyway, stop using incestuous. Use nepotistic. That's the right word.
Well, no, that's a different thing. So the use of the word is actually accurate.
There's nothing wrong with nepotism.
So, like, the two definitions of incestuous are involving or guilty of incest, which isn't what I'm talking about, or two, of human relations generally, excessively close and resistant to outside influence. And the example given is the incestuous nature of literary journalism.
All right.
So it's the fact that they're these supposedly independent outlets or whatever, but in reality they all have these like close relations. They have these close relationships with each other and are basically this like cartel. So that's like the definition of the word I'm using.
All right. Anyway, keep going.
So journalists with journalists with their maybe incestuous relationship to the cathedral. Two experts are offering insights to help journalists make sense of the recent controversy around critical race theory, a decades-old legal framework for examining how US laws and systems have perpetuated racism. Well, just from the fucking byline, you can see that they're already on a side. Decades-old legal framework. No, a decades-old piece of bullshit. Like U.S. laws
It
and
has
systems
been
how U.S. laws and
taught in
systems
law
have
schools
perpetuated
for a
racism.
while.
I'm sorry, but we fucking got rid of all the systematic racism. Like, there was this big thing in the 60s.
Yeah, but haven't you understood that that was evil and unprogressive?
Oh,
and we are
right. I
now
keep
going to go
forgetting that we
full
don't
apart?
like that guy called Martin Luther King. That whole treating
Getting
people
rid
like
of
the contents.
segregation back.
Yeah.
He was really evil after all. I heard he owned slaves.
Well,
In that he had children, yeah.
he did oppress an African American woman.
Oh my god, no.
He made the children do chores. And they were
Whoa.
black.
Oh no, how could he?
And sometimes he hit them.
How could he?
Discipline? What is that? What is this?
Right, so they waffle on about, meanwhile, even as critics call critical race theory un-American and divisive political movement, it appears people on all sides of the issue have different understandings of what it actually is. Yes, the bullshit definition you keep claiming it has, and the one that everyone else is using.
Well, on Reddit, I run into a lot of people who are like, oh, critical race. It's just somebody else misunderstanding what it actually is. And it's like, I notice all of the conservatives are like fucking citing the actual authors and like proponents of critical race theory, like the people who have contributed academic to it. The conservatives are quoting all of them, while the journalists just kind of hand wave it and go, well, that's not real critical race theory. It's like,
Just like anything written by Marx isn't real communism.
well,
Real
critical race
hasn't been
theory.
specified.
Critical race theory is just teaching that slavery happened.
Robin DeAngelo is not a critical theorist. She's just teaching whiteness studies.
Critical race theory is not an ideology or a political orientation that assumes white people are bad. It assumes white supremacy is bad in all of its forms. Well, that's not even fucking close to what it is.
It's an idea.
I mean, again, if it doesn't assume that white people are bad, it shouldn't use whiteness as like the term for it is.
Yeah, or as some fuckwit says, it's a practice or approach that provides language and a lens for examining racism at institutional and structural levels. Okay, so when we intentionally discriminate against whites and Asians at universities, what's that?
Yeah.
Racial justice?
Affirmative
Well, I mean,
action. AKA...
I mean, again, systemic
racism.
racism. Yeah, but I mean, again, like if they're not saying white people are bad, they shouldn't use the term whiteness. Hey, Bezic, say Bezic is a piece of shit and should be burned at the stake. Oh, don't worry. It doesn't mean anything bad about you. It's just the sociological definition of that phrase is that pedophilia is bad. So if you don't say Bezic is a piece of shit and should be burned at the stake, I have no choice but to conclude you're pro-pedophilia. Like, no, you wouldn't say the phrase because it is inherently demeaning to yourself, even if hypothetically the ideology behind it was innocent, which it isn't.
It's all a game of language.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and this is coming from the same like people that go on about microaggressions, that it's a microaggression to ask somebody where they're from, but using whiteness as the term for that which is bad is somehow not offensive.
Well,
To be honest, anytime someone says microaggression to me, is I give them a microaggression for it.
so
get macroaggressive.
If somebody ever accuses me of a microaggression, I'm just gonna give them like a brief, solemn nod, and if they like ask me what that was, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, it was a micro."
A micro what?
Apology.
Ah.
No, just No, just punch them straight in the face.
Macroaggression. Come on, go big or go home. You're American after all.
Don't waste your fucking time.
So, some other bullshit that they're coming out with. I think there's some mischaracterization going on here, some fuckwit says. Because critical race theory has the word race in it. Perhaps people are intentionally equating critical race theory with anything having to do with race or the teaching of racism.
What?
Excuse me, what?
But they literally said.
But you're literally
in the article.
Like, yes, you're literally saying
that critical race theory has something to do with it.
Yeah, despite the fact that it assumes white supremacy is bad in all of its forms, and it's a lens for examining racism at institutional and structural levels. Therefore, it has nothing to do with racism.
I like what they say. I like that they say assumes it's bad in all its forms, in that they're not sure that it's bad in all of its forms.
Oh yeah, they can't prove that white supremacy is bad in all its forms.
Well,
I like
course, because
let's find the good kind of white supremacy. I'm down for that.
No, that's
I think it's more of a veiled implication. No, it's more of a veiled implication.
Punctuality the good bit? Punctuality is maybe
no.
Maybe
I think it's
work ethic.
I think it's more of a veiled implication that people who disagree with critical race theory don't think white supremacy is bad.
Jesus.
No, but they actually believe in racial awakening, and that implies racial awakening for white people too.
So no, but white people can't have that.
In their view, there is a good way to be white supremacist.
Well, my question is always this: I am not a white supremacist. I do not believe in white supremacy. Okay, but are we absolutely sure that white people aren't superior? Because
I mean,
according to the Smithsonian,
depends on who you ask.
Because it seems to be their argument a lot of the time that they are.
Yeah.
Well, that's it.
Like,
black people need all this extra treatment because they're not superior.
Yeah, but how did the white people?
We're better than you, and we're going to help you.
I'm just thinking, like this white superiority thing. Like if for the whites to have become the superior one, as in, running everything, and in the first place, is it possible that they achieve that through actually being superior in the first place, or is it just a timeline issue? Certainly, when they arrived in those places with their boats and their guns and all that kind of stuff, they probably were somewhat superior at the time.
Well, it reminds me of that Sargon versus Thomas Smith. Thomas Smith said, "Freedom allows white people to control everything," and Sargon just goes, "Oh my God, you're a white supremacist. You are a white supremacist with a guilty conscience, Thomas."
But that's actually.
He just absolutely annihilated that guy that day. It was just, it's like go back and watch it occasionally because it's just fucking hilarious. It's just, people say that Carl should be in jail for what he said to fucking Jess Phillips. He should be in jail for the fucking full-blown murder of that man.
I mean, yeah, but he's a free man now. You can't hold
absolute fucking carnage. It's just, I've nenever seen anything out of that guy ever again either. As well, it's just
Hey, can you post that one in memes or art? No, that's a piece of art. Post it in art wall if you could, because I can't find that video.
I got you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you get on YouTube, no problem. I mean, it just absolutely takes him apart to the point where he doesn't stay for the Q&A. He just walks off.
Yeah.
He walks off in the middle of the Q&A. At one point, somebody in the Q&A is like, "How do you deal with cognitive dissonance?" Sargon's like, "I don't have cognitive dissonance because my positions are ideologically consistent." How about you, Thomas?
It's just fucking beautiful.
Oh.
And then the guy constantly goes going on. well, the crowds, the crowd are all here for you, and it's like, well, what does that fucking tell you? Instead of acting as if Sargon's paid them all to be there or something, no, your arguments are shit, and the crowd aren't with you.
No,
It's like Sargon individually invited everybody to be there.
Stop preaching to the crowd, Thomas.
It's just,
I just wish we
absolutely
could have
brutal.
more moments like this. I just wish we could have more videos like this, where just like the people from each side sit down, just have a talk. And if
To be
one's a
loads of them,
fucking idiot, then he gets butchered as he deserves.
You used to get loads of video. Hitchens used to just destroy people on the daily. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why none of them will debate the right now, because they fucking get annihilated.
They got
what it reminds me of.
Slapped.
You only have to scratch through a thin veneer of ideology, and then their fucking worldview collapses.
What it reminds me of is the Jordan Peterson gotcha moment.
Yeah. Ha! Gotcha.
With what's her face?
Kathy Newman, is it?
Kathy
Yeah.
Newman.
Kathy Newman.
Kathy Newman. Yeah.
I mean, like that should have ended her career, really, but it didn't. But it should have.
I wish it did.
I mean, ended it in the sense that she was never taken seriously again, because she's absolutely destroyed.
Well,
have you guys
and left her going like, oh, she won the debate. Fucking how?
Again, I think Kathy Newman gets too much hate relatively, because I genuinely think Kathy Newman was like more charitable towards him than most of the people on the left who have interviewed him.
Maybe.
No, she was out.
No, that's not a maybe. Charitable. If you've seen,
it doesn't matter. She's a fucking idiot, regardless of whether she was actively out to get him. It doesn't fucking matter. She's just a piece of shit. She's useless, and she has no place trying to educate people.
And then she tried the old death threat bullshit afterwards, and that she needed security. And then when asked to provide details, couldn't provide a single fucking tweet or text to suggest that she'd been actually abused.
Oh, I'm not defending her. I'm just saying that other people are have been worse than her and have gotten a lot less hate than she has for their interviewing of Peterson.
But she was suggesting that Peterson had whipped up a group to come after her on Twitter, and then couldn't provide any evidence for it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sort of like, I don't think you should be. Half of me thinks you shouldn't be able to be anonymous online, because I think it would end the argument instantly. I think you'd find out that actually most Twitter trolls are actually women.
So you have the cool argument.
Yeah, I enjoy anonymity too much to.
Yeah, I know, but just for a while. No, just for a while. We'll just give it up for 6 months to do some studies.
No, but
the chances we get it back after 6 months is minuscule.
We're just gonna lock down for 2 weeks, 14 days to slow the spread. You know.
I know.
Yeah.
But like, one of my buddies, he's a psychologist. He's done a few studies for the government, and he used like language. So they used like language filters. So what they're doing is they were looking at all the language of these tweets and texts and stuff, and it's going like the language of this does not support that it's a man that is texting this, because it just the way men frame, like on average frame sentences and things, like it's just not the way. It's not the way a man that would make a rape threat and things like that is what they're saying. You know,
right?
This is the language of. And men don't generally. Men tend to threaten violence rather than rape. You know, and they basically say like he's sure, absolutely sure, like 85% of all rape threats come from women pretending to be men, not men. Because
that makes sense.
Because what he's saying is a woman imagines the worst thing that could happen to her to be rape, and a man considers the worst thing to happen to you to be a physical violence or an embarrassment. So when men threaten, when men threaten men, they threaten them with physical violence or with embarrassment. Whereas he's saying, well, women pretending to be men threaten women with rape. It's the logic of it, but
I see.
What's funny about rape?
Everything. What? What's this about?
Not raping me, shit, surprise.
Right, so back to critical race theory. So
No.
what they argue it is that critical race theory critiques how the social construction of race and institutionalized racism perpetuate a racial caste system that relegates people of color to the bottom tiers. Fucking what? Foundational questions that underlie CRT and
this
the law include...
this is the same person who said that it's
not about race? Yes.
And racism. Yeah. So fucking weird.
Yeah, so
but
foundation...
Also, the problem with that first statement is, like, yeah, that is, like, its own internal definition, but kind of the thing is, we aren't misunderstanding it, we're criticizing how they define race, institutionalized racism, and racial caste system.
Let me finish with the definition, and then we'll look at it in depth. So, foundational questions that underlie CRT and the law include: how does the law construct race? It doesn't. How has the law protected racism and upheld racial hierarchies? It hasn't in the last 50 years. How does the law reproduce racial inequality? It fucking doesn't. And how can the law be used to dismantle race, racism, and racial inequality? The Civil Rights Act.
Yeah. Well, racial inequality, an example of that is affirmative action.
Yeah. So when
so I guess the government is still enforcing racial inequality.
Yeah.
By only offering affirmative action to some students.
It also assumes that the role of the law is to dismantle these things. Like, no, it is not the purpose of the law to dismantle an attitude or belief that someone has. And it is not the role of the law to dismantle racial inequality, just racial unfairness.
Yes, it is the law's role to ensure that people are not discriminated against on an unchangeable characteristic. It's nothing else.
Yeah, the purpose of the law is to make sure that fair and people are...
The only point where you should apply equality is equality of opportunity and equality under the law, and that's it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you take the it's not fair to if you take it's not fair to do things by unalienable characteristics, right? What if you're stupid? If you're stupid, right? You're stupid. There's no making you less stupid. You can teach somebody stuff, but you can't teach them. You can't make a person be able to think faster, better. You can only teach them facts and learning things, right? So if you're stupid, that means you can't get a certain kind of job because you're stupid.
You sound like that. You sound like that based army guy in the IQ.
Yeah, but how is it okay to not give a person a job because they're stupid? But it's okay. But anything else you can't.
It's quite simple, really, because they are not capable of performing the job role.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's the kind of thing where. Well, that's the thing where it isn't.
If I have a disabled person, I have to make my office in a way that they can come into the office and do the job. Right? They're not capable of doing the job without me making modifications to the job. So why
modifications needed
there are modifications
to get someone of a different race?
I mean, I think the question is whether. Well, the question is whether or not it's relevant. For example, one instance in which everyone agree that racial discrimination is entirely appropriate. Like if you were making a movie about the life of Martin Luther King,
you're obviously going to racially discriminate in the casting process for the actor who plays Martin Luther King. You're not going to hire a white guy to do it.
Yeah, because
You know
they're
who I'd want to play
inherently
Martin Luther
incapable.
King?
They're inherently incapable of performing the job role. Just because a disabled person needs a fucking wheelchair ramp to get into the office to do computer work doesn't mean they're inherently incapable of doing the job.
Well, I mean, we have blackface paint. No, you know how I'd want to play Martin Luther King? Sean King.
Oh, God.
I have to say, though, like, after a couple months, after 2.5 months of not being able to stairs last year, using them for the first time was like a thrill. It gave me a rush.
Yeah, so these journalists are telling other journalists that they need to familiarize themselves with what critical race theory is and is not. That way they'll know when the term is being misused. Sure,
Careful
using
with
your
your wording
definition.
They're not journalists.
Oh,
Don't
sorry,
give them
yes,
that much
journalist.
credit.
Anyway, moving on.
Or pieces of shit. That works too.
Yeah, either way.
Again, I can't hear journalist by saying instead of.
Guys, I need to go now because first of all, it's nearing bedtime because late night job. Also, we're so far out to the sea now that the internet is crapping out, so I'm just gonna leave instead of just going full robot on you.
Okay, man.
Alright, Shadilay.
All right.
Catch you later.
Shadow,
guys.
brother.
Bye.
Boom.
So, the alleged journalists are telling themselves
That's pretty good.
are telling themselves that they need to familiarize themselves with what critical race theory is and is not by using a faulty definition of critical race theory. That they're intentionally using a flawed definition that they know is different to what everyone else is calling it. Clearly, to people like the conservatives and sane people, critical race theory inherently suggests that there is something wrong about white people, which it does. Because they assume, where they say they assume that white supremacy is evil. But the problem is, they consider white supremacy to be white people being equal to black people. Even using their own definition, it's racist. And of course, Kimberly Crenshaw, yep, renowned racist.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's the problem, that fucking, the definition is accurate through their lens, but the problem is, it is that Mott and Bailey switch where they give that definition, knowing how the average person understands those terms, but the definition they give is through the lens of their redefinition of the terms.
Yes, exactly. So, the other thing they want them so-called journalists to do is when sources assert that critical race theory is un-American or unpatriotic, ask them to define American and patriotic. Include their responses in your coverage.
Okay. America is founded on liberalism.
Yes, America is founded on the concept of life, liberty, and freedom. And critical race theory wants to restrict people's freedom, therefore it's un-American. Kiss my ass.
Based?
I mean, and critical race theory, it's definitely unpatriotic. It is directly opposed to the history and cultural mythos of it uses flaws of great people to completely tear them down and make it so that we can't respect or venerate anyone in our history who lived more than 60 years ago. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is that even our great accomplishments, like Brown v. Board of Education, the critical race theorists shit on it and go, oh, well, that's just secretly white racism coming out even more.
Yes, it was white racism when the president ordered the National Guard to go force the white people to let the black kids in.
Of course.
And one of these idiots goes on to say, critical race theory asks, why isn't everyone getting equal justice? How can it be un-American to strive for equality? Well, I'm not smart enough to tell you what logical fallacy that is, but it's clearly a fallacy. Because critical race theory does not ask why everyone isn't getting equal justice. It assumes that they're not getting equal justice, and then it assumes that the correct response to this inaccurate assumption is to shit all over white people.
Yeah,
and
critical race theory, like, says abolish whiteness and then defines English common law as a part of whiteness, and is openly against standards like the neutrality of law and full application of law to all peoples. That is equal justice. Critical theory and critical race theory is directly opposed to equal justice. And how can it be un-American to strive for equality? Well, it depends on what form of equality you're talking about. America is inherently anti-communist.
Well, that's it. Are you after equality of opportunity or equality of outcome? Because equality of opportunity is American, equality of outcome is communist.
Well, okay, equality of rights is American. Equality of opportunity can only be pushed to a certain... Like, if you push for absolute equality of opportunity, it's tyrannical.
True, but it's equality of opportunity under the law is what we're really at, and how it should be. There is nothing that the law does not prevent any black person from doing anything they want.
Because if you do really poke hard enough at equality of opportunity, it starts to fall apart. You'll have stuff, well, I don't have a degree in psychology yet. I should be a psychologist. I should have the opportunity to become a psychologist.
Well, a more realistic outcome would be you're looking at education. Oh, I don't have rich parents, therefore either the government pays for me to go to private school, or we get rid of private schools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's always a race to the bottom, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And where it falls apart is that the moment you start doing that, you start hitting into issues of restricting other people's freedoms.
Well, you would really need to have all children raised by the state so that they have the same...
Pretty sure Orwell foresaw it going that way. Wait, was
and
Orwell?
Huxley.
Yep. Taking the children, raising them in their creches.
Yep.
So even with the better types of equality, it assumes It assumes it's the only value and does not ever tend into tension with other values.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you have equality, what else do you need?
Food would be a nice start. Because
yeah, but freedom conflicts with equality.
Well, I always say the same thing to whenever I talk to a communist and they go on about me having too much stuff. I say, well, how exactly would you redistribute my wealth? How would you do it? Because I don't have any money. I've only got stuff, right? I've got stuff. I've got lots of stuff. I haven't got any money.
Sell your stuff and distribute the money.
No, but how do you do that?
Yeah, how do you sell it when nobody has property?
I've got 40,000.
Sell it to the government, of course. The government is allowed to have property.
I've got a £40,000 watch. If you equal the money across the entire population, no one has £40,000. So who do you sell it to? Who gets my Bentley? Who gets my other sports cars? Who gets my stuff?
The glorious leader, of course. The glorious leader gets it all.
Oh God. Luxury
items either go to the glorious leader or they get torn down into their essential parts, and like you take all the iron off of it and you melt it and you make it into an iron ingot. That's it.
So
Use
there's
the
no-
iron
so
ingot
you
for
destroy the value of
something
all things.
essential. Well, yes,
Like
you
a
don't
plow.
need luxury
Plow.
items.
Yeah, but the world's full of luxury items. How do you
Well,
redistribute them?
those are wants, not needs. We only need to take care of the needs.
No, but you can't. Redistribution of wealth is not a matter of. There's more wealth in stuff than there is money.
Well, yes, that stuff will be reclaimed into things that you can use to fulfill the needs of the people, comrade.
Well, how do you reclaim my? I've got a £6,000 Eames chair. How do you reclaim that?
It will be torn down into its raw materials and used for other purposes.
Which would make it ultimately less in value.
Yes,
Of course.
It makes it valueless.
But no, I actually remember.
It just doesn't work. It's just a stupid. It comes from a time when all the value was in money, and there's no money anymore.
Well, I also remember back a few years ago on This Week in Stupid, there was actually an article that was like, parents, you shouldn't read to your children when they go to bed because you might be giving them an unfair advantage over other children.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Stop treating your kids well because other people don't treat. If you're not beating your children, like if your black neighbor's beating their children, you better fucking beat your children too.
If your black neighbor is beating your children, I think you should call the police.
No, but that's racist.
All
yeah,
children
of course.
all children should be abused. All children should be abused in case one child is being abused.
Yes.
To keep them all equal. That's the argument, yeah?
Yeah, of course.
So let's get on to the holy 8 questions.
Yes, the 8 questions to uncover important details, often missing from news coverage of critical race theory. Question 1. Do the people speaking out for and against critical race theory actually understand what it is? Yes, they do, but you're going to reject their definition with your made-up fancy bullshit words.
Your text.
Yes, they will read your textbooks to your face, and you will then deny their definition, because they are using it to reject the whole concept.
Yep. Like, the people arguing against it seem to be the people actually citing the literature.
Funny how that works.
Well, if you're citing the literature, then you've obviously missed the point.
Yeah.
Clearly. Question 2. How did this issue become a news story? Ask follow-up questions like, who is creating events in the community is one way to create news. Who's making these statements? Who is making this an issue? And is this even an issue? The conservatives are making this an issue because they don't want you to teach their children to hate each other.
No, the left made it an issue when they were pushing that to begin with. Like, what this is that, like, meme that Ben Shapiro uses all the time where it's like, the left does something terrible, and then the headline is, conservatives pounce.
Yeah.
Oh, the conservatives are trying to stir up a culture war.
No, it's like, no. The left made the first attack. It just so happens that the reprisal is the one that's treated as the first attack. It's like, Jesus, guys.
You're responding to the things we did? What are you doing? Are you trying to start a culture war?
Yeah, it's like that meme of shoveling shit over the fence and then screaming abuse when more people shovel it back.
Well, it's also saying who, the implication being, oh, it's those bad people. Right-wingers, ooh!
Woo! Conservatives!
Well, the thing is, it's not just like the fucking conservative news pundits and people who are like normally hyper politically engaged. It's like the parents who are seeing what their children are being taught and take issue with it. It's normal fucking people.
So, the white supremacists, of course.
Yeah, of course.
The white supremacists.
But I think that shows how much of an issue it is. It's not like shit like the Duluth model, where it needs to be people who actually understand this shit and on a philosophical level and are going, no, it's bullshit from the ground up. Like, this is parents going, the teacher told my son he's evil because he's white. Fuck that.
If it's not an issue, then why do you have all these journalists communicating with each other about how to defend it?
That's a very good point.
Wow, you're a conspiracy theorist now? Of course they didn't talk to each other. They just all thought of that
That's
independently at the same time.
Yep.
Well, yeah, but you can't say that.
Of course not. Magic
if you dare to repeat what they say openly, they call you a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah,
Shut up, bigot.
Yeah. So, magical question 3, which brings us back to our Mott and Bailey. Do any schools or school districts in the US, including in local communities, teach critical race theory, or have they in the past? Well, universities do. You've already admitted to that. 2, whose definition of critical race theory are we using? Are we using the magical structures of race in law, or are we using teaching white and black kids to hate each other?
Well, it's also like, I mean, this is like the equivalent of essentially if schools were like teaching, you know, I don't know, shit about like Jews being an infestation and like cockroaches and like fucking, sneaking into the country and like subverting it and all that other shit. And all that other shit, and how they're like subverting the pure race of the homeland and blood and soil. And the left was like, what the fuck? You're teaching Nazism. It's like, well, no, technically we're not teaching any of Hitler's writings directly. It's like, no, but it's the same fucking ideas. Like, they wouldn't accept that deflection if it was the other way.
Well, that ties into their next question as well. Which individuals or groups' opinions and experiences are missing from news coverage of this issue? Well, not the people who are in favour of critical race theory, they're the one writing the pissing news. It's the conservatives that are being restricted. What the fuck are you talking about?
They've literally sent Robin DiAngelo, Ibram X. Kendi, and all these other people on media tours and education to like fucking instruct teachers on how to spread their ideas.
And you're against that?
Yes.
It's like, the only reason that our perspective is in the news is because we've made enough noise about it. But, like, the real question is, because I don't think anyone's opinions and experiences are missing from the news coverage of the issue. I think the real question is which individuals or groups' opinions and experiences are missing from the teaching and the education system.
Yes. That would be a very useful question, but we don't want that. Instead, what we want to know is, for example, question 5. What are teachers and school district administrators saying? Who fucking cares?
Well, we know that they're telling children to become white traitors and white abolitionists.
Yes, they're teaching children to be aware of their race and how their race impacts others, and how they're evil and need to stand up and apologize for that.
And we also know some teachers are, like, keeping a fucking weird Orwellian shit list of the parents who were speaking out about it.
Yeah. And again, that ties into the next question. What are the people who oppose teaching kids about CRT and racial inequality worried about? Teaching kids that people should be judged on their race. You know, the thing that we decided was bad in the 60s and was quite popular for a couple of decades?
Well, maybe we shouldn't have decided that in the 60s. Maybe we should go back and reconsider. You see, if you don't see race, that's white supremacist.
Well, it's also really dishonest because it's this weird kind of gaslighting obfuscation. What are they worried about? If you listen to them, they tell you exactly what they're worried about.
Exactly, and these are regular people saying it, not academics or the educated laymen like us. This is regular, run-of-the-mill, off-the-street people. They don't have the years of dealing with this shit to have the big words. They're telling you how it is. Like, it could not get any more plain language.
Well, you see, they're using the wrong terms. They haven't studied it. They're not an insider, so therefore they cannot critique it.
Yes, exactly.
It's like they looked at the abolition of man and they said, "Hey, what if we did that for our ideology with the Tao?"
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you cannot critique it from the outside, only from the inside.
Yep. Which is why they asked, do critics of CRT have a firm understanding of how teachers present and explore issues around race and racial inequality in the classroom? Yes, we do. Thanks to learning from home due to COVID, parents have now seen what you scum are teaching their kids. And they have a firm understanding of why it's evil.
They were really worried about that.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing. They present this as if, like, oh, it's a bad thing that critics and parents aren't familiar enough with what they're really teaching. It's this dishonest tack because, like, you know, they were like, how do we keep parents out of here so that they don't know what we're teaching their children? Like, they deliberately obfuscate it, and, you know, news people are saying, oh, critical race theory is just teaching that slavery happened. If they don't understand, it is not the fault of the critics, it is the fault of its defenders.
Exactly. And again, question 8, which is my favourite of the lot. Who benefits when there is widespread confusion or misunderstanding about what critical race theory is? The fucking teachers and journalists.
Yep.
Because
the people who promote critical race theory.
Yes, the people who promote it are the ones benefiting from the confusion or misunderstanding. Because they're the ones trying to pretend that it isn't inherently racist. It's utterly ludicrous. Like, you actually look at the moment you look at who benefits from it, it's the teachers and the other associated Marxists.
I hate these people.
Me too. And then we get to point 4 of their lovely list. Investigate the potential impact of teaching K-12 students about race and racial inequality. Again, obfuscation. But it's unlikely that many public schools are teaching kids about CRT, but teachers frequently discuss race, racism, and racial inequality in class. Yes, you morons. It's not that they discuss race, racism, and racial inequality in class. The civil rights movement should be part of their education. But that's not what you're doing, and you fucking know it.
Well, they're attacking a straw man here.
Yeah, they've made a lovely straw man, and now they're attacking it. Because what they're going is, but they're teaching them about race, racism, and racial inequality, and that's a good thing. Sure,
they know they can't defend their actual position. In theory,
but then you look at how they're doing it. White supremacy. White people have privilege. Or those 2 schools in Australia where they told the white male Christian kids to stand up and apologise for their race. That shit doesn't come out of anywhere but critical race theory.
Oh, God.
Wait a minute. Scroll back up. There's this very telling point. Okay, yeah. Georgia's students have expressed disappointment that significant parts of American history were excluded from their lessons in grade school. The college students want that, George says. Now, this is a professor who teaches critical race theory. So, the people who choose to take a class on critical race theory want critical race theory. I mean, that is such a nothing statement. Like, the fact that she's trying to take the people who chose to take a class on critical race theory as being representative of the entire population of students is such an obvious logical fallacy. Like, no, like, there is a very
there is a very extreme selection bias in that sample.
Yeah. And I
like
really
so extreme, it is completely useless in making any kind of
exactly
statement about the wider population.
like
I mean, it's like if you used a bunch of people who went to a church and they're like, oh well, this is proof that everyone in the country wants to be a Christian. Like,
yeah,
no,
Yeah, almost as if she hadn't studied a proper scientific discipline.
yeah.
Like, oh well, I talked to all these people who came to my KKK meeting, and people in the country, they want white supremacy.
Like a really good example, because we can actually compare apples to apples in this case, is seminary schools. Okay, let's go to a seminary school and ask the students who would have liked to have heard more about Christianity in high school. I think you'd have I think your sample size would be 100 out of 100.
Yeah, I mean, it's
like people who want to hear about the thing, want to hear more about the thing in the past. Like, shit, really?
No way.
Point. People are desperate for white supremacy. I mean, the Democrats especially are desperate to find some. The media is desperate to find some. And then some white supremacists are desperate to find some. But mostly the people who really want to find white supremacy are not other white supremacists.
Regular CNN commentator Richard Spencer.
Yeah. He'd love to find more white supremacy. He's very lonely, I suspect.
Indeed.
I would just like to see some evidence that white people aren't actually superior.
Yeah. Another sentence I love is academic research suggests high school students benefit when educators stop teaching history from a predominantly white perspective and present it in a way that connects with the cultural backgrounds of their students. Okay, so firstly, academic research. Right, so your biased bullshit studies with cherry-picked samples. Stop teaching history from a predominantly white perspective. Okay, sure, let's teach history from a non-white perspective. Okay, you have the Aztec and the Maya, and then you have mud huts, and that's fucking it for the rest of the next 10,000 fucking years.
No, but it says benefits them. How does it benefit them? Where is the benefit? Does it benefit them in helping them pass? Because I have a sneaking suspicion if they did a normal history exam with just that guy teaching them history, they might have some fucking holes.
Well, it's also like she warns that kids who do not receive a holistic view of U.S. history could develop a distorted sense of themselves and their roles in society. When you don't understand people and their contributions, you really do develop this distorted sense of yourself and also irrational fears about people who are different from you. And it's like, are you kidding? Like Martin Luther King Jr. is venerated in our society. Long before critical race theory was being taught in public school, we had Black History Month.
Yeah.
Like, we know that slavery happened.
Yeah.
Like, nobody is objecting to the idea that slavery happened. They're objecting to this historical revisionism where the War of Independence was supposedly fought to preserve slavery, and Abraham Lincoln was like a covert white supremacist who was just, keeping white supremacy more under the covers, and that Brown v. Board is really a white supremacist decision.
Okay, so just to answer Oil's question of what the benefit was, at the end of the academic year, 96% of students who took these courses reported having a better understanding of how racial and ethnic minorities had experienced the past. Right, okay. More than 3/4
of... Is it?
Hey?
And that's the benefit. That's the whole benefit.
Yeah, that's the whole benefit. More than 3/4 of the 114 students surveyed said they could remember more of what they learned in these classes than they had in other history classes they had taken. No shit! That was the most recent one, you fucking bellends!
Yeah. And also, they taught them things that their biases liked, and also, there was less history to learn because they didn't teach them the white stuff.
Exactly. And no interest in dates. There was slavery, and then there was Jim Crow, and that's all you ever need to know.
Well, that's all
and
that
it's
really
also,
happened in
like-
history, of course.
Well, you also see the Mott and Bailey they're pushing here. They're once again like just kind of saying, "Oh, critical race theory is just teaching about Black people's history in America." Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
no.
yeah.
Well, they go on to say, George says it's important for all young people to recognise racism remains a significant problem today, citation needed, and that past inequities such as slavery and racial segregation continue to influence the lives of racial and ethnic minorities. Fucking bullshit. A lot of people will say, that's so long ago, that's not relevant, it doesn't matter now, George says. That does matter. No, it fucking doesn't.
Well, the thing is, you look at Ben Shapiro, and he's like, "Yes, okay, gang, it happened, and yes, it would have had some knock-on effects, okay, gang, right?" And so, like, but the idea that America's system, as currently constituted, is actively oppressing or opposing Black people is just absolutely asinine. So again, they're like doing the Mott and Bailey. They're walking back the claim that they're actually making.
It really hurts.
And you can tell you can tell because they're not actually engaging with any of the criticism. They're talking around the criticism.
Of course, because if they actually engaged with it, the discussion would be over in minutes.
Exactly. As conservative, for example, might say something along the lines of, it's teaching the white students that they are collectively guilty for the Black students' lives. And then they'll go, oh, but we're just teaching about racial inequality in the past. It's like, no. Address the actual fucking argument. But
yeah, exactly.
they wouldn't do that now, would they?
It's all so tiring.
It truly is.
Oh, what? Okay, let me see.
Shall we move towards some more enlightening things?
Yeah,
More vibrant things?
More vibrant.
But in a good way this time. So, Emmanuel Macron turns out to be one of the most based fucking UK leaders. Well, one of the most based European leaders.
UK leaders, I wish.
Who knows at this fucking rate? Could be. Emmanuel Macron said that defining people according to their gender and skin colour splits society. Gee, that's an awfully racist position that someone like Martin Luther King would say, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he's quoting that noted white supremacist Martin Luther King.
Yeah. Macron said that ethnic minorities have effectively been placed under house arrest by left-wing ideology. Yup. Blamed black rights activists and feminists for seeking to define people according to their gender and skin colour. Fucking beautiful.
Yep.
He argued that such views causes splits in... Jesus Christ. Who the fuck edited this? He argued that such views causes splits in French society and prevents ethnic minorities from moving up the social ladder. He's right, but Jesus Christ the times. Get an editor. Fuck me sideways.
Get a copy editor.
Yeah, get a copy editor.
They've got a copy editor, it's just they're a woke person and they won't correct anybody's stuff because it might aggress them in some way.
Oh,
Yes, proper
that's
English
right,
is a
because
racist construct.
correcting spelling of black people is a microaggression. I remember.
Yeah, exactly.
You see, you remember your training. That's good.
It's colonial imperialism
Yeah.
to make
yeah.
people spell things in our language correctly. Ethnic people should be free to spell our language any way they like. Like fucking Americans who can't spell any fucking thing without putting a U in it. Or taking a U out of it, rather.
And fucking swapping Fuck, what is it?
Well, it's color, not
Z's for
color.
S's and...
And spelling everything fucking phonetically, despite the fucking language not being phonetic. But
Hey,
whatever.
it's not. It's
Swapping
color,
out
it's not
C's for S.
Color.
Like we are
It's-
retards, so we will say
Okay,
everything
American.
phonetic.
Yeah, because no one ever taught the Americans how to read. They've got to do everything phonetically.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
the word defense, where they put an S in instead of a C, ignoring the fact that fence is also spelt with a C.
Well, the thing that really annoys me is when they like in English.
Wait, that's a thing?
Because
Yeah,
English
Department of
because-
Defense is spelt with an S. Go check it out.
No. I meant defense spelled with a C. I've never seen that.
Yeah, in everywhere but America, it's spelt properly.
yeah. But also it's stupid things like obviously in English, because of our close ties with France and things like the Normans, we have lots of French words in English. Yeah, Americans can't fucking use them properly. So you go to a fucking restaurant and they have an appetizer and an entree. They're both the same fucking thing.
Yep.
You enter, you fuckwit.
But like to go back to fence and defense, like you also ignore it. It also ignores the history of the words, the etymology of them. They both come from the same source words, which is why they're spelt similarly. But the Americans have gone, oh, we'll change it in this one because we're special.
This U in color is confusing. Let's take it out.
I mean, look, I'm just saying the leftists on the Supreme Court in America are still better at conserving things than the conservative parties in any of your countries.
But you keep putting fucking Zs in things.
Look,
fucking,
you don't have
put
to
the
spell
fucking Zs in
properly
there.
to be based, but it certainly helps.
Yeah. Well, they call it.
I don't know.
based.
Does it help?
It
I
does,
think
because
so.
if
I'm
you,
looking at
cilantro.
the ostensibly conservative parties in like all of your countries, and they're worse than the Democrat justices on the Supreme Court.
There's no such thing as a fucking eggplant.
it's an aubergine.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Eggplant sounds like fucking retarded.
Yeah, of course it does.
Like, oh
Only
boy,
used in
I
one
mean, it's like
country.
if they named something a bacon tree.
God, I wish there was a
That'd
real
be that
thing
way.
as a bacon tree.
That'd be fucking- that's genetic splicing at its finest. Not that Americans have ever actually eaten any fucking bacon, but that's another.
What are you fucking
all done.
talking about, bro?
The stuff
Like,
you eat
there-
is not fucking bacon.
My fucking senator Ted Cruz like has a video of him cooking bacon on
Not
like
bacon.
a rifle at the gun range.
Not
Oh my
fucking
God.
bacon.
Your strip
That
shit
fucking
is not bacon. No,
Bacon.
proper piece of bacon is like a foot long, 5 inches wide, and covered in fat.
Yeah.
What you eat is streaky and it's not fucking bacon.
Back bacon
Bacon's
is
ro-
real bacon.
Proper bacon is round. You know that streaky bit? That's just a bit of the piece of bacon. That's like a third of a piece of bacon.
I think we've just broke
Bullshit.
student chat as well. Student of history's like, what? How dare they speak ill of bacon?
Americans have got no idea what bacon is.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you know, you might be right about that, but Ted Cruz.
If you look at American sort of classic food, it's all the off-cut bits that the Brits would eat. So it's like, I'll have chicken. We'll just eat the fucking wings. Like, you realize that up until like 10 years ago, all the chicken wings that were ever produced in the UK went in the fucking bin or into dog food. Do you know what I mean? No one
Okay.
ever ate them.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna make the point that at least here in America, we can cook meat wrapped around the barrel of a rifle at a gun range.
British person could do that.
All right. I bet,
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically.
I bet it tastes great, man.
I bet it does not.
Yeah, exactly.
Try it with some real bacon.
It's not about the taste, it's about sending a message.
I'm getting very ranty today. I don't know what's good.
So,
so you
What are we
mean
even
it's
talking about?
of the week ending in Y?
yeah.
I love Americans, but I love them in the way that a man would love a red-headed stepchild.
So you
You
don't
know?
love Americans?
No, I just feel like they need more beating than most people.
So I wanted to show you guys a fucking brilliant story that I came across on Reddit. I know, yes, Reddit today. That's fucking fantastic. And I won't be surprised if the Lotus Eaters cover it tomorrow. So.
Well, not
You mean
tomorrow.
Monday?
Monday.
When they're lazy, they won't work.
Look, I'll get so drunk that when I wake up it will be Monday. So.
No, you'll miss
boy.
You'll miss the glorious celebration of American independence on Sunday, though.
Now it's only 22 hours away.
Anyway, go on. Tell us.
So, an employee quits school district over white privilege propaganda with a savage base resignation letter. It's fucking brilliant. So, first you forgot the logo. Manchester School District, anti-white. As he's edited their logo to say anti-white beneath it. And then in the address block, 2, Manchester School District, aka the Temple of Equity. CC, Chief Equity Officer, lol, Mary Steady. Beautiful, tasty. Oh god. 2, Human Wedgie McGee. I hereby resign as site coordinator in light of the Frankfurt School, Manchester School District's endorsement of the dehumanisation and hatred of white people, as evidenced by their dissemination of the imbecilic white privilege curriculum presented by the intellectual titans at Learning for Justice, an organisation founded by America's eternal arbiters of truth and morality, the SPLC. Just gonna drop Oil's volume a sec, because he's getting wind back. Where Senior Fellow Mark Potock's office is decorated with celebratory charts of the declining percentage of white people in the United States and Europe. Despite MSD's inability to abide by its own anti-harassment policy and the complete lack of respect and procedure MSD is owed in return, I'll honour my obligation to provide 2 weeks' notice. Shortly, though, in the interest of the greater good of humanity, MSD will unburden itself as my unendurable whiteness. Oil. Audio. By exercising its discretion to excuse an employee from such notice and relieve an employee from his or her position immediately. Whoa, seriously, his or her? OMG, wow, just wow, I can't even. And it gets fucking better. How is Manchester School District still operating on this archaic binary? Oh, where is the equity? As a trans feminine, spectrosexual, non-libidoist, Subaru Forester Basset Hound hybrid, with a mixed type of surgical errors for genitals, I am non-binarily outraged at Manchester School District's stunning failure at inclusivity of soft butch, stone butch, pan-romantic, gender-dormant, cupiosexual, trigender, polygender, demigender, and left-of-gender peoples. And I call for the resignation and immediate gender reassignment surgery of Superintendent Goldhart, Chief Equity Officer Lameo Steady, and all other district administrators and Board of School Committee members responsible for this wanton toxicity that, though obviously acceptable to treat mere cis-normative whites with, is supposed to be spared those that share fellowship in the Cultural Revolution, adopt abstract and performative identities, and list pronouns after their names. How absolutely dare you yourself? In closing, I wish the Trotsky disciples at MSD nothing but failure in their ongoing quest for civilizational degradation. I leave you with the only verbal response befitting any attempt at anti-white indoctrination. Fuck you. Diversely, equitably, and inclusively yours, Daniel Concannon. And then he lists his pronouns. And I'm not even going to attempt it. It's like 20 miles long.
Who is this guy?
He formerly a teacher or some sort at the Frankfurt School. Sorry, I mean Manchester School District.
Manchester, where? Because there are many Manchesters.
Yeah. Manchester, New Hampshire.
All right.
Based.
So that's the Freedom State, Manchester.
Yeah. Northwest After School Coordinator quits, says anti-white training session amounts to harassment. So there's actual news articles to go with this as well, so it's not just some fucking meme.
Good.
And look at him, he looks like the guy from the Chad Yes memes.
It does.
Do you think he did that on purpose?
Maybe.
Oh god, it would be a super good fucking meme if he had. But yeah, he abruptly quit on Monday, now denouncing a Manchester training program that he said endorses dehumanization of hatred and whites. You know, this critical race theory thing that apparently doesn't exist and isn't taught in schools? This is what we mean when we say critical race theory, you fucking scumbags.
Good.
Yep, fuck him. His issue is an open anti-white sentiment. It is aggressive and is explicitly anti-white. Fucking oath. Absolutely based.
We need more people like this. And I've seen recently there's a lot of people doing this. You've seen the guy in, where was it? London County? London County, yeah.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go take a shit.
All right, you've had the parents protest there. You've had the really based guy that they showed on Crowder.
Good. Good shit.
Yeah, keep doing it. Keep pushing back against this. And this is the point where the normies will wake up, because it's starting to affect them personally, starting to affect their children.
Yep. And the New Hampshire Union Leader, which is the newspaper that's doing this, has apparently requested the documents that Cannon's complaints lead to. Beautiful. Beautiful.
All right. Can't wait to see those.
Yep. And here's some candidate responses that answer a lot of these questions the so-called journalists had about critical race theory. So, the fact that the school district would feel empowered to bring in these divisive concepts is the same reason our schools are failing. Lack of leadership under Mayor Joyce Craig. That's some viciousness. Richard Girard, a former school board member and candidate for mayor, thanked Concannon for confronting a woke mob seeking to indoctrinate students in racist ways of thinking. Beautiful. As Mr. Concannon points out, this training isn't about educating people about racism, it's about accusing people of being racist based solely on the colour of their skin. That's our problem with critical race theory, you stupid fucking so-called journos.
Yes.
Yep, and he's called on the dipshits at the school to release all the training materials referenced by him. Good stuff. So the training apparently used the term whiteness 18 times, which he said felt dehumanizing. I bet it would be. It included a slide that read whiteness in power. Included a newspaper column by Deepa EO critical of the Trump administration, including references to Peggy McIntosh's 1988 essay, White Privilege, Unpacking the Invisible Knapsack. Hold on a second. That was referenced in that fucking article from those dipshit so-called journalists.
Oh.
Where the fuck is that? That exact article's referenced in here.
Huh.
I think.
You think?
I don't know, there's a lot of bullshit in it. It's not, but there's probably something equally racist in here.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I swear there was something that looked similar to it. But anyway. McIntosh wrote that being white was like having unearned assets which I can count on cashing in each day. Again, where the fuck is my white privilege check? They owe me 30 fucking years of back payments. It encouraged educators to discuss strategies with black and other minority students about how to correct fellow students who mispronounce their names. Okay, here's a strategy. Hey, fuckwit, my name's such and such.
Yeah, that should work.
Concannon said that the name activity accuses students who mispronounce names of being unwitting racists. Actually, it says Native Americans and minorities often saw their names shortened in the past to make them easy to pronounce, which the text termed a type of racism.
I people have to shorten my name because not everyone can get it right, and it never really felt like racism. It was like, yeah, it's a foreign name; it's difficult to pronounce. I have problem pronouncing names from other places. I'm not gonna blame anyone for it.
Well, no, and it's got nothing to do with anything like that. Like, I shorten names all the time. Like, a good example are the names of the guys we have in the voice call here. You're Cap Stasher. Why the fuck wouldn't I just call you Cap? We've got Second Plague, who I'll just call Second. We've got That Oil Guy, who I'll just call Oil. Why would we waste time with 50 million more syllables when there is a perfectly acceptable variation? And besides...
But that's a racist.
Racist.
You're doing that because they're foreign names and you can't spell foreign names.
Solomon Guthrie's actually makes a really good point. Reparations will never work. How far would you even go back? I doubt I'll be cashing checks from the Mongolian horde. Sounds good.
I can't wait for Carl to get his reparations check in the mail.
I'm actually in favor of reparations.
Go on.
Explain yourself.
No, I am. I'm genuinely in favor of reparations.
Well,
give me a number. No, right. Let me explain. Give me a fucking number. Give me the number that ends all of this. Give me the number that we never have to talk about this again, and you can have it.
Yeah,
all
that's
right?
what Jordan Peterson said. He's like, is there like a white tax I could pay so that I could stop having to talk about my race?
No, tell us how much money. Tell us how much money and who has to get it. Right? Just give me a number. Give me the number. We'll all get together. I'll build you a fucking Wakanda. Right? I'm quite happy. If it's a Wakanda that it takes, we could get together. We could do that. We could make it happen. Right? Because
that
here's the simple fact.
That oil guy's like, oh, you know, where I work, we're close to making vibranium.
Well, not quite. But here's the thing, right? If you give all those people, all those fucking useless, feckless cunts, all that money, in 6 months, where do you fucking think it's gonna be? It's gonna be back in my pocket where it fucking belongs.
Oh yeah, quick tangent, that oil guy. I have a bottle of Lafroig next to me. Is that offensive to your sensibilities? Good, I finally found something that pleases.
I'm even prepared to accept your pronunciation of it.
Nice. What is the proper pronunciation?
No, that was good enough. It was close. But that's my point, right? All the businesses, all the people who have built these businesses that currently make money, if you just give all the money to other people, 6 months they'll all be back in the businesses where it came from in the first place, because those people will just... The people who made poor financial decisions will continue to make poor financial decisions if you give them a shit ton of money. But then we don't have to talk about it anymore, and I'd be fine with that.
We had a good story about that.
I just gotta try okay,
You'll
so I have a bottle of Coke right here, so I'm gonna try a Lafroig and Coke.
Don't you fucking dare!
No, I am just memeing on you.
Whoa, hang on. What I'm more offended by second. Why do you have a bottle of Coke?
I don't.
Why have you got the devil?
All right, we're supposed to be boycotting these guys. Come on, you can't be spending money on
I'm just memeing you guys. Like, that oil guy, when it comes
like, yeah, I'll make some like mixed drinks and shit or whatever else. When it comes to like the high quality stuff, I don't even like put it on rocks or anything. I just drink it straight up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, so I know my etiquette there.
You'd delete it if you did put it on rocks.
No, there was actually something that offended me. Because, like, I have a friend who's a big fan of Parks and Rec. So on his 21st birthday, I brought over a bottle of Lagavulin 16. And he tasted it and he's like, would it be offensive if I mixed this with Dr. Pepper? And I'm like, yes. That is a fucking $80 bottle of scotch. You were not mixing it with Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper is pretty good, though.
It is, yeah.
I have to say, Lagavulin is not to my taste. But...
You know what's annoying? Everywhere outside the US, Dr. Pepper is owned by Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Huh.
But in the US, it's not.
Well, I mean, that's just a logistics point of view outside of. I mean, outside the US, in Europe, there's basically only two soda companies. It's Schweppes and Coca-Cola. There's everything else.
Mountain Dew is owned by Pepsi. Good.
Yeah. but basically but in the UK, all like Pepsi and that is produced by Schweppes.
Is it?
It's just I think so. It's just a logistical thing. It's just a plant logistical thing.
I'd rather not give money to Coca-Cola. But I really enjoy Dr. Pepper, so I'm just annoyed that it's Coca-Cola that it fell upon the shoulders of.
But just to go back to reparations for a second, what do you think reparations would do to the average price of crack?
Reparations make the price of crack go down.
Up, surely.
Well, yeah, because higher demand.
Yeah. What do you think it would do to, what do you think it would do to Escalades?
Maybe it'd actually make more poor people sober.
I'm just saying you could probably sell a pair of spinny rims for about $1 million. It's just,
who is that one?
You suddenly put a large amount of cash in the hands of people that are not. I'm not saying the whole black people. I'm just saying that if you just suddenly give the population a big chunk of money, it doesn't really work.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, who is that one?
It could be any population. You know what I mean? It could be white people or anything. You give them a big chunk of money.
Well,
if you give everybody the same amount of money.
The wokists came after that one black rapper who was like, American black people, we end up with a decent amount of money. Never invested in wealth. We never invested in wealth. We should really do what the Jews do. And they went after him for being anti-Semitic. It's like, no, he was complimenting the Jews for being smart.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. How many houses do you own? Why is it not more than one?
Well, I mean, talk to what's that bitch's name?
I mean, like, America, like, property's so fucking cheap in America. Why the fuck do you not own more property?
Yeah.
It's wild to me that people don't just buy and buy and buy and buy property like it's going out of fucking fashion.
That's not going to be an option anymore because BlackRock is buying everything that's not already bought up.
You will own nothing and you will be happy.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I bought so much property when I was younger because, you buy a property, you rent it out. You save up. You use the money from that rental plus the money that you saved up the first time. It takes you less time the second time. The third time, it takes you less time. The fourth time, it takes you less time. The fifth time, it takes you less. It's like, just keep buying cheap property, keep renting out, take the money, pile it back in, keep going.
No, you can't be a landlord. Get a job.
I've got a job. I paid to be a landlord.
I mean, like, if it weren't for fucking landlords, my best friends and I wouldn't be able to live in as nice of a live. Because we're 23. We're not, like, fucking buying a house right now.
I had a fucking house when I was 23. Fucking deadbeat. Fucking get on it.
Sorry, how many years ago was it when you were 23?
Like 19.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Old person.
So what was your fucking?
So you're
what's your
42.
fucking point? What's your fucking
Old
point?
person moment.
Fucking boomer.
Oh, so you're 42. That means you should go after. You should go after a 28-year-old man.
Oh, I don't think my wife would be very keen on that. I mean, I was planning to buy her a reasonably expensive Christmas present, but I wasn't planning on giving her a divorce. I mean, that would be slightly more expensive than. That's more money than I was intending to spend.
God, that reminds me of that fucking Reddit post on r/am I the asshole, where it's like, am I an asshole for being mad at my boyfriend for sending $1,000 as a Christmas present to some Twitch or to some OnlyFans thought?
So funny.
No, not the arsehole. That's one of the few times where on Am I the Arsehole, they're not.
No, sorry, just to go about the property thing, and this is a thing that I think a lot of people make mistake of, right? You don't have to buy a property that you're going to live in. You don't have to buy one that you like. Just buy a property. Go on the internet. I mean, it's never been fucking easier to do this. Go on the internet, find the cheapest fucking house in the country that you live in, and buy it. You can continue to rent a house to live in. You can still own a property. In the UK, you can buy flats for £20,000 if you can be arsed.
Based.
No, but that's
Still
how
some
you...
amount
That's how
of
you,
money.
Hmm?
Still quite an amount of money.
£20,000?
Yeah.
No, it's... Well, okay,
Not
so
everyone has that saved up, you know?
you don't need to save it up. You get a fucking mortgage.
Not everyone can get a mortgage.
Minimum wage... Hang on, minimum wage in the UK is about £11,000. A mortgage company will offer you 3 times your wage. You'll get a mortgage for fucking £20,000, no fucking problem. Unless you're like a dick. I'm just saying it's not that hard.
These things take time.
No.
As the Smiths famously said.
All I'm hearing is excuses.
It's a bit harder to get a mortgage than you might think these days. Especially when you have no credit history.
Yeah.
You know how you get credit history, don't you?
Go on, tell us.
Borrowing fucking money. By borrowing fucking money, borrow more money.
Right, and who do you borrow the money from?
The bank.
And if they won't give it to you?
No, like a credit card.
Yeah.
You get a credit card get a credit card the second you're 18. Spend all the money that you spend on your credit card, pay it off every fucking month. You'll have no fucking problem getting a quicker mortgage. It's not. There's no big fucking secret to how you do these things. Just act fiscally responsible. It's not fucking hard.
Well, I'm addicted to buying good books.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like they track your so these credit companies look at how you act. So things like the levels of insurance that you have. If you have travel insurance and life assurance and things like that, those are things that the banks monitor. When you're looking for a mortgage and things like that, they're looking to see what type of risk you are. They look to see how you act in your life. There are flaggings for it. So if you should buy insurances and things like that if you want to get a mortgage. If you want to get a mortgage, a good mortgage, you want to act fiscally responsibly. No, these are not like secrets or anything.
But wouldn't it be easier to just go live in the forest?
Yes, it fucking would.
Depends which country you live in. I wouldn't recommend it in Britain. It will mostly be cold and fucking wet and miserable.
Make a small wooden shack in the forest, and then send mysterious packages to mathematicians.
Possibly. Sounds like a terrible way to get raped, though. Boy, you got a pretty man.
What were we talking about?
We were just got finished dealing
Deliverance.
with the based guy who quit the school system. We've got another story. Facebook's apparently being cunts again.
Yeah.
To the surprise of no one.
Yep.
Yeah, who's surprised by that?
Facebook is now warning that you may have been exposed to harmful extremist content and asking if you have extremist friends. Thanks, Facebook, because we totally care.
And it's obviously aimed towards BLM and Antifa, and not towards your Trump supporting family members.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, sure.
Oh my god. Mom says she's so proud because her 15-year-old transgender son.
Oh, God. Fucking kill me.
I missed the end of that. She's proud for what?
She's proud her 15-year-old transgender son is going through menopause. I don't have words.
No.
I have intensely violent emotions for this.
But fucking what? How does that work?
I don't know.
I mean, I've heard of early onset menopause before, but 15 seems a bit.
Fuck this. We're gonna have a look at the article.
Yeah, that's gonna need to be read.
Oh fuck! Of course it's Australia. God damn. Okay, an Australian mum has gone viral for saying she's proud of her transgender son, aka her biological daughter, going through menopause because of all the meds being given to resist the double X chromosome that's coded in every one of her child's cells. You fucking child abuser.
Right, that makes more sense.
Actual abuse.
This is... I'm done. It's just child abuse. Fuck that shit.
I don't know why you decided to open it up. You knew what you would be in for.
He didn't know it was Australia.
I was hoping it would be some other country.
Actually, I'm sort of... Again, I have a different outlook on a lot of these things than you guys. I mean, that's obviously clear. I think, if a person is genuinely trans, I think they should be encouraged to do their transition because, it basically removes them from the gene pool.
Yeah, but not under 18.
There are cheaper ways for the taxpayer to achieve that. Like, say, helicopters?
Yeah, well, helicopters are actually quite expensive. I think you've overlooked the,
helicopter ride, a single helicopter ride versus a lifetime of treatment,
No, I'm just saying if you're going to helicopter ride them, there's cheaper ways than that. I mean, a shotgun shell's about 12 cents.
Yeah. But no.
If it's good enough for your dog, it's good enough for.
Oh my god.
I shouldn't say that.
No, we'll move on before we say something that does get us banned.
Or you think the Make-A-Wish Foundation should do helicopter rides?
Not even going to touch that.
Oh, speaking of Make-A-Wish Foundation, I don't know if this is real, but I've heard rumors that they only...
Babylon Bee.
Is it?
It was a Babylon Bee thing, yeah.
Okay.
They're only taking kids with Kids with double jabs.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, that was a Babylon B one.
Oh god, that was actually
Quite on the
very...
nose. Quite on the nose, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you never know. It sounds like something they would do.
Summer heat specifically targets minority neighborhoods.
Yeah.
The weather is racist.
Of course.
Okay. Let's ignore the super crazy stuff and look at Facebook. Right, so Facebook has 2 alerts they're saying to people if their AI deems they've been exposed to extremist content. Michael, you may have been exposed to harmful extremist content recently. Violent groups try to manipulate your anger and disappointment. You can take action now to protect yourselves and others. Okay, let's report Antifa. And then their other one is, are you concerned that someone you know is becoming an extremist? We care about preventing extremism on Facebook. No, that's a fucking filthy lie. Others in your situation have received confidential support. You can't receive confidential support from fucking Facebook. You're logged in.
Insert the meme here regarding these. I think it's very fitting. Of course I know him. He's me.
Why would you want to know anyone who? Why would you want to know anyone who wasn't an extremist? Like on either side, moderate's boring.
There was another meme I couldn't find, whereas like that announcement is in the center of the political compass, and like all corners are like, ew, no, I'd rather not.
Veganism.
Veganism.
Not even once.
Yep. Here's a sample of what you see.
Experts.
Let's have a look at what arguments violent groups use to gain followers. They can be very persuasive. They often use feelings of fear, anger, and disappointment to further their cause and get others to join them. They may use arguments based on these feelings to convince you that violence is the solution, even when facts prove that it's not. So, punch a Nazi's banned?
Hang on. If facts prove that it is, we should resort to violence, right?
Oh my god, just take down the people who are advocating for violence.
Well, no, of course not. We need
well,
to
of
make
course
an
they
example
won't,
out.
because those are the leftists, and those are their primary
Yeah.
customers. Understanding common arguments. Oh, look, here's a good one. Violence is the only way to achieve change. What was that? By any means
revolution,
necessary?
Yeah.
Did you know
Violence
that?
is the only way to achieve the revolution, comrade.
Yeah. Did you know that researchers have shown that peaceful movements are more successful than violent ones? Yeah, I think that Martin Luther King guy said something about that.
Yeah.
Violence is against the law. No, really?
No way.
Really?
That's crazy, bro.
Minorities are destroying the country. Okay, what about white people are destroying the country? Hate groups oversimplify problems by blaming them on one group of people. Like,
It's okay
say,
to
the
majority
whites.
destroying the country.
Yep. Some groups claim the problem
Well,
is the immigrants.
notice that little sneaky thing. They snuck immigration
Yeah.
into racial hatred.
Some groups claim the problem is the immigrants, while others claim it's the Jews, the black community, or another group. Yeah, or another group, like, say, the white people. But they didn't say that, did they?
No.
Did you know that immigration is linked to decreases in violent crime over the last 50 years? Well, that's clearly a filthy fucking lie.
Correlation
Prejudice
does not
against
equal
white people
causation.
is not racism.
No. Also, what happened 50 years ago? Oh yeah, the fucking 70s. Okay, here's my theory that's even more valid than theirs. Weed is linked to decreases in violent crime. Fucking schooled.
I mean, yeah.
Based?
Yeah, it's absolutely stupid.
Plus leads to a decrease in violent crime. Shooting criminals.
This is true. Actually arresting them.
Shooting potential criminals. That reduces violent crime too.
Well,
Killing a murderer does not reduce the amount of murderers there are. However, killing 2 murderers.
yes. If the
Well,
one
okay,
executioner kills 2 murderers,
how many violent crimes were there recorded in Nazi Germany? Let's say in Berlin at the height of the war. Do you think?
probably 2 or 3.
Well, probably very few.
Yeah, like 2 or 3 a year.
Yeah.
Probably one of those uppity
So-
Jews stabbing a Nazi.
Yeah. So fascism obviously leads to a reduction in violent crime. So we should do that, right?
Well,
Obviously a good idea.
until you look at the reasons for it, which is a change in the definition of rules, where
Oh,
shooting
yeah.
Jews in the face is not a crime.
Oh my God.
Yeah. If only somebody was to look in depth at any of these things, then.
So I open up Getter and I look at the Lotus Eaters profile, and it seems even before we reached the news we were gonna cover, they already stole it. They're getting so good at it.
Those bastards.
Yeah, it's pre-crime.
It's pre-crime.
Pre-crime, pre-con.
But the important thing
They've
is,
got
we
the
covered
weird,
it on
like,
video
fucking,
first.
like, oracles and shit that are, like, crack babies or something. That's how that works, right?
Yeah.
Cap, are you sure you're not in the Lotus Eater's office?
Oh God, I wish. Oh well,
The
Uh,
UK,
we'll talk about it when we get there.
the UK is considering giving people the legal right to work from home, and if they do, I'm going to say that Carl has to give me a job. You can't make me work in Swindon, so I'm going to demand the job from him.
I think we all would. If you can work from home, does that mean I can work from my home here?
Yes. What
I
difference
don't
would it
suppose
make?
you'd be covered by British legal coverage on that, no.
I don't know.
Well, it's in the Commonwealth. That's fine.
I mean, if they're willing to let immigrants do anything they want, they've probably worded it so fucking poorly that I could.
But what, do you think the immigrants can also work from home? So they can just you don't even have to bother to become a migrant,
Yeah.
economic migrant. You just stay in your own country and claim UK benefits instead.
Well, I mean, let's be real. That'd probably be better for the England.
You can claim UK benefits from home. You don't have to leave your own country.
We should just do that. Maybe that would be the best way to take it. Okay.
No,
we'll
just
pay
get a
everybody-
bunch of your
everybody
fellow
on the planet,
Australians. Just get a bunch of your fellow Australians to start crossing the U.S. southern border, and Kamal will just send your government crates of cash.
Yeah, but then it'll go the same way as the crates of cash from everywhere else. The politicians will spend it all on themselves and not spend a goddamn cent on the people.
Based.
Because you
That's
take...
usually how it goes.
And the Australian government's really good at being corrupt. Oh, well, they
yeah.
used to be. Nowadays, they're just idiots. I remember the good old days where our politicians were wily and corrupt, not stupid and corrupt.
I don't mind a corrupt government as long as it's a properly corrupt one. And we all get a go, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like,
As a man
Again-
who does government contracts, I'm quite in favor of corrupt governments.
again, it would be better to live on Robert than an omnipotent busybody.
Indeed.
Here,
At
I've got
least
the
there's a
17
chance you
million
might have
pound
some
wrench I'd
freedom.
like to sell you.
Solomon, what did you post?
The marketplace of
Oh,
ideas.
Jesus!
Oh,
Oh, the user has
Oh.
taken. Oh, account suspended. No.
Welcome to the marketplace
Instant
of
suspense.
ideas. The regressive left has argued against the marketplace of ideas, so we are part of the idea revolution.
Oh, the fucking mad lad actually did it too.
I can't believe they suspended the account.
No, he doesn't say
Oh.
they suspended it. He said instant suspense, not instant suspension.
No. Open the link. The account is suspended.
Is it?
Yeah.
What's this?
Oh, yeah, account suspended. Yeah, there you go.
What am I
That-
missing here?
In general, Solomon posted something.
Someone
I
on
see that.
Getter decided they'd create the username using a certain, shall
Oh
we
yes,
say,
I see
power
that. Yeah,
word.
yeah. Didn't capitalize it though, I noticed.
No.
Wait, let's see what Dave Rubin's response to the Facebook thing was.
Here we go. Just report AOC Amarin to leave. Oh, based.
But how much
Fucking
you wanna
good
bet
on
that
you,
it's a
Ro.
how much you want to bet it's a fucking lefty who did it as well?
Yeah, probably. It was a journalist. Excuse me. Journalist
of course.
trying
It'd be
to see.
It'd be a lefty journalist trying to go, oh
Look at the
the
hate
far right.
on Getter.
Yeah.
Grabber.
Grabber. We should call it Grabber.
Grabber would have been a better.
Yeah.
Would have definitely been a better one. Maybe he was advised against it.
Maybe. Sounds like something he would have done.
If he'd been involved in it, he probably would have done that.
How vibrant.
I can't get the confirmation email to come through though. That's what's fucking causing me a problem. I can't get it to start.
Well, there are apparently some email account providers just eating them. I tried with my Hotmail address, never got them. Tried with Gmail, they came through, but then the site was just being gay and didn't let me register anyway.
I gotta bounce. I need to get ready for my journey to the beach.
All right, man.
As a full-on super boomer, I'm still using my Yahoo account. Yeah.
Wow.
Won't be surprised if they're in.
Shadilay, brother.
Shadilay, man.
No, the problem is I've had it for forever, and I've got so many business things where it's just tethered to that fucking Yahoo account that I just can't get rid of it.
I know.
It's like, fuck. So I have to endure all their bullshit all of them. Constantly, open the account and there's like a million tons of spam in it every day.
There's the meme. Are you concerned that someone you know is becoming an extremist? Well, of course I know him. He is me.
Yeah.
Free speech extremist, as some would
Becoming extreme? I'm a becoming extreme.
More like it, everyone else is moving so far in the other direction. Well, they've left me nowhere to go.
It's very sad that that's the reality we live in today. That is the society. I said the funny word. That's the society we live in today.
Indeed. Oh. So, apparently Biden is going to save money, 16 cents on the 4th of July. Everybody will save 16 cents with their 4th of July cookouts.
It's so exciting. It's so exciting. Yes!
An actual tweet from them. Planning a cookout this year. Ketchup on the news. God, who writes this shit? According to the Farm Bureau, the cost of a 4th of July barbecue is down from last year. It's a fact you must heard? What? Hot dog, the Biden economic plan is working, and that's something we can all relish. No, stop it. Bad puns.
I'm gonna say it right now. They're implying you can have a barbecue on the 4th of July.
Yes. Everything's down so many percent. It's like 16 cents. Yeah, because anyone gives a fuck about 16 cents. I'm pretty
Burgers
sure
are down 2% from last year.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that even the poorest guy under a fucking bridge isn't that concerned about 16 fucking cents.
But to be fair, could it also be that the supermarkets are pushing the price down on just those items for the look of things, while the price of everything else is screaming through the roof? Knowing that 4th of July is an important day to the Yankee Doodles.
Yeah, like say the price of lumber and gasoline? Yes.
It costs you an extra 87 cents to go to the supermarket in your truckload because of the increase in price of gas. Fucking gas. Gas! I mean, fucking Americans.
Yeah. Better days are ahead.
Right.
Maskless Biden,
Yeah.
next milestone in virus battle. Yeah,
Let's
16
call this
fucking
liquid
cents.
gas.
Mm.
These are the brighter days they warned us about.
Yep. 16 cents. Wow.
Oh boy. I can't believe this is an actual White House tweet.
Oh, check this bullshit out on the side. Lockdown continues in New South Wales as Bondi cluster grows to 188. 188 people! 188! Run! Run!
When
Terrifying.
they say brighter days are ahead, I've always assumed it was of leftists being immolated, producing that light.
No, they were referring to the glow of the nuclear explosion, you know.
Yes, when they blow themselves up doing something dumb.
I was in and around a nuclear reactor yesterday, so it was quite fun. They didn't read out my comment on Lotus Eaters yesterday, which was that, like Trim, I'm off playing with boats, but mine's bigger, it's better, and it's nuclear.
Yeah.
Nice. So, 16 whole cents. Unfortunately, no one will be able to go to this cookout due to the $1 increase in the price of gas. Yep. Wow. But hey, at least the price of cheese is down a whopping 1%. And lemonade is down 100% more than cheese, cashing in at 2% cheaper than last year. Isn't math great?
That's amazing.
Yeah. And of course, the price of lumber. Oh, let's see. Okay, so lumber price per 1,000 board feet. Roughly $400, give or take, a rise in like December 2018. Until what looks like June-ish 2020, when it skyrockets up to nearly 1,000, dives again, and then skyrockets up to 1,500. So that's like 200% increase.
Yeah, but look at the last period from the beginning of June this year. Just goes so high.
Yeah, it's like $500 in like fuck all months.
No, in less than a month. Literally.
Yeah, literally.
Thank you, Biden. Very cool. But don't worry, Snopes had to remind us. Well, it's not actually Biden. It's coronavirus.
Of course it is.
Maybe, let's say, lockdown measures due to coronavirus. It won't be due to the actual disease itself. It'll be due to the response to it.
Of course.
And who had that strong response that would have led to price increases? Can't be Democrat leaders in Democrat cities and states, can it?
No. Couldn't possibly be the Democrats.
Oh, of course not.
Couldn't possibly be Biden.
Also, what about the price of gasoline, as Americans say? Why did that increase? Well, we have multiple pipelines shutting down recently. Can't have anything to do with the new administration.
No, the new administration that blocked a pipeline? No, it can't have anything to do with them.
Closing down the Keystone Pipeline, that can't be anything related now.
No.
Maybe giving in to a group of hackers that hacked another pipeline? Nah.
I thought we didn't negotiate with terrorists. Oh wait, that's just the white ones that we don't negotiate with.
Well, no, those guys were probably white.
Oh, because they were definitely from Russia, as they tell us.
Yeah.
Definitely from Russia. It's just ludicrous.
Snopes assures us it has nothing to do with that.
I mean,
it's not.
I was interested that Biden was going on about America's amazing, cyber powers. If they wanted to come after Russians, and I'm like, bitch, what are you fucking talking about? Those Russians, they're hacking you in English. Yeah, so they're doing it in a second language. You're telling me the American all the fucking teenage American hackers sitting in their basement are going to come after Russian in Russia in Cyrillic? Yeah, I mean, like, I barely meet an American who can speak English most of the time, let alone fucking anything fucking else.
Well,
And
no,
if I
of course
can
they
speak
can't
a second
English,
language,
they
it's
speak
fucking
American.
Spanish. Bloody
Another
Americans.
colonial language. Like, fuck off! Like, they're gonna come after the Russians. Yeah, fucking, yeah. No worries.
It really reminds me of the thing. It's like, why are you saying you're Spanish? You're Mexican or you can't be Spanish. There is no such country as España. It's a language.
Oh, God.
I know, that's so funny.
Thank you.
I remember
Biden.
seeing this thing. I remember
Right.
seeing this thing years ago where they just took America off a map. They did a map of the world. They took America off it and just moved the land masses around a bit, and then asked Americans to point out where America was on the map and stuff like that. Fucking absolutely wild. I mean, obviously they found loads of retards to do it. They weren't showing the people just going, "What the fuck is this?" But
Who the fuck changed this map? Would be
Yeah.
what most people would say.
Just point to the biggest landmass,
Wow, the Mandela effect kicked in.
Which is
This was
especially
really how I
retarded
remember
since
Syria.
America isn't the biggest landmass.
It's fake.
No, it's not. Not by miles.
Yeah. Like, no, that's Kazakhstan, dickhead.
But it looks like America.
It's just
That's very
sad.
funny.
So yeah, Americans, be grateful that you have such a wonderful president that will save you 16 cents on your 4th of July barbecue cookout.
Yep, despite the fact that it'll cost you $1 extra in fuel to get to it and back.
Come on, let's not be greedy now. You can't expect him to do everything perfect. 120 days. Give me some time.
Oh dear. It's just embarrassing. Oh, on a different note, I'm here
Speaking
that
of embarrassing.
I hear that birthday wishes are due.
Oh yes. We kind of missed it by a day, but
Yeah, apparently the Chinese Communist Party has turned 100. And Z will be the real star, says CNN, filleting the Chinese dick.
this article was so painful to read through, you have no idea.
Well, let's find out.
I'll let you enjoy it on your own. This is the article that the Lotus Eaters just posted about 2 hours ago.
Ah, good. So we've beat them to it. Performers surround a large Communist Party flag during a mass gala marking the 100th anniversary of the Communist Party. Ooh, wow. 100 years ago this July, in a small brick house in Shanghai's former French concession, Mao Zedong. Oh yeah, the guy responsible for the Great Leap Forward. Okay, let's go. And around a dozen other delegates gathered together in secret to form a new political party. Much has changed since 1921, but the Communist Party, which today boasts more than 95 million members, equivalent to almost 7% of China's entire population. They say that is a good thing, but that's really fucking low. Like, that's disgustingly low. and they've remained an ever-present fixture even as communist parties elsewhere collapse or fade from view. Because they're not actually communist. They're totalitarian dictator shitbags.
Oof.
While the party has proven itself willing to adapt and change at crucial moments to ensure its survival. No. The ruling party of the Soviet Union lasted 93 years before the collapse of the communist regime in 1991. Righto. It remains keenly aware of the risks it faces from a slowing economy, an aging population, and a shrinking workforce, to an increasingly united West that is determined to counter its rise. Oh, it's just pathetic.
It is. It really is.
Yeah. Viewed in this context, the centenary, which will be marked officially in July 1, is the opportunity for the party to reaffirm its credentials while ensuring loyalty. Well, that doesn't sound terrifying at all.
No, not at all.
How do you prove that you are the legitimate government of China? You do so by putting on an enormous show to remind people of what you've given them. You've lifted them out of poverty. Fuck off. Given them economic growth and restored China to a central place in the world. Oh, of course he's Australian. Graham Smith of the Australian National University told CNN. God fucking damn it.
This is...
Right, so how do you prove you're legitimate government? By putting on an enormous show. Like, say, a march through the streets of Berlin? No, wait, can't be anything like that.
No. Don't be
No.
silly now.
No, it can't possibly be anything like that.
They use tanks. They don't march.
It's utterly pathetic.
It is. It's just. Oh, it's just a blowjob piece for the CCP.
Yep. But the New York Post, on the other hand, was not a bunch of pathetic cucks.
Nope.
CNN ripped for glowing coverage of Chinese Communist 100th anniversary, as they fucking should be.
Mostly everyone, apart from obvious like actual communist papers, has been ripping into CNN because it's a really bad article.
Yeah. CNN is being mocked for glowing coverage of the Chinese Communist Party's 100th anniversary and star leader Xi Jinping, with critics dubbing it the Communist News Network and even CNN. Nice.
CNN.
The article briefly referred to some of the darkest chapters of the last century, including the brutal repression of student protesters in Tiananmen Square, as well as millions who starved to death under CCP economic policies, but it insisted the party has much to celebrate, particularly China's growth from one of the poorest nations in the world into an economy on the brink of overtaking the US. Sure. And what's the quality of living compared to the people in the US again?
They've had a whopping 1.5 paragraphs talking about the dark parts of the CCP's history.
Yeah. And as they said in the article, the original article by CNN, it's likely that large parts of the day's events will focus on Xi, arguably the country's most powerful leader since Mao and his vision for the country, which was quickly ravaged online, including by US lawmakers. Not sure what there is to celebrate, Representative Ken Buckley said. Last 100 years, the CCP has murdered and stolen from millions of people. It is committing genocide in Xinjiang, annihilating one country, two systems in Hong Kong, and threatening war in Taiwan, to name a few of Xi's crimes. Based. And of course, he's a Republican from Colorado? Looks like Colorado.
I'm not sure.
We'll call it Colorado.
All right. So, on this point, China has been saying, "Oh, we're so ready to finally unite with the rest of China towards Taiwan," which is very worrying.
Indeed.
It might mean they're planning an actual takeover of Taiwan very soon.
I'm sure they've been planning it for years, but it's definitely getting more and more imminent, shall we say.
Yeah. Well, they've taken over Hong Kong. They had a part in the original CNN article about Hong Kong, and it was just so sad to read. It's like the double-decker buses have been plastered with striking red ads celebrating the Chinese Communist Party's centenary.
Jesus. Those poor guys.
It's so sad.
Yeah. And of course, not the B had a go at them.
Yep.
Sad that they're putting out better quality journalism than these other so-called journalists. She will be the real star, man. You're drooling over there, CNN. Give it a rest. Yep.
Yeah.
And as they point out, basically, they love the guy.
It's actually embarrassing.
Yep, and apparently
America
ABC
really
News, party time, China staged a night of political theatre with a mass performance to sing the praises of the ruling Communist Party. Ugh. Disgusting.
Australian Broadcasting Corporation?
Can't wait for Taiwan to hand them their fucking ass.
God, I'd love it if Taiwan handed them their fucking asses.
I think they will.
You think so?
Yeah.
You've got more knowledge on than any of us.
Well, it's topography, man. You've got to look at the topography.
Yeah, but China's probably willing to throw enough lives at it that they could fill the topography with corpses of their own fucking soldiers. They don't give a shit about human life.
Yeah, I know, but how are the how are our media going to look at it when 8 Chinese guys dies for every Taiwanese guy?
Oh, they're going to say horrible things about the Taiwanese, of course, because they're brought and paid for by the Communist Party.
They're going to, the losses may be so significant that China can't really, because one, I think they will vastly underestimate China. Like, name a war that China won.
They haven't really won any.
Exactly. Right? They're going to do beach landings that everyone knows they're going to do beach landings. You don't think the Taiwanese have been slightly, the Chinese have been preparing for it. You don't think the Taiwanese have been preparing at all for these beach landings,
Yeah, of course they have.
And then once you've done the beach landings, you've got to fight up through the mountains to get anywhere. Just fighting upwards through a mountain is not ideal.
No, not an easy.
When your superior numbers are of little value, and
Yeah.
Reminder: which dictator killed most people?
And all of China's
China's
also got a minor. China's also got a minor problem of that all their equipment's made by China.
Well, it could be worse. It could be made by the fucking French.
Largely by Ali. No, the French make good military stuff.
Eh.
No, they do.
Well, maybe not here.
A lot of British and American military tech is done in partnership with the French. There's no. The French are the number 2 exporter of military equipment in the world, I think, after the UK.
Well, that is interesting.
I think they're number 2. Yeah, they do make some good stuff, but like for instance that seaboard defense system that I was talking about the other week, that was done in partnership with the French.
Well, there you go.
British-French combination build.
They have this image in the article, and it reminds me of something very specific.
Oh, actually, that just reminds me as well. Just 1 second. If you remember that the Americans were complaining that Americans couldn't buy F-15s because they were American. The Americans can buy the Japanese Mitsubishi-made F-15J, just as a matter of what I checked. Yeah, so you can buy an F. You just have to buy a Japanese one. But they're made by Mitsubishi and actually slightly. But they're made by Mitsubishi and actually slightly better than the American ones. So.
Nice. Well, who'd have thought it? But that's cool.
Yeah. I thought. Well, it's like if you want to buy an Apache helicopter gunship, you don't buy an American one, you buy a British one. They're infinitely better. Doesn't have that horrible piece of shit GMC engine in it. It has a nice fucking Rolls Royce engine in it, like all good aircraft should.
Yep.
It also has this really amazing thing that we thought of. They're called dust filters. It stops it breaking down in the sand every time you fucking try and take off.
Crazy.
Anyway, sorry, on
thoughts.
you go. British mods.
Yeah.
Always good.
So, New York Times. As the Chinese Communist Party marked 100 years since its founding, Xi Jinping said foreign powers would crack their heads and spill blood if they tried to stop its rise. Okay, at least they pointed out that Xi is willing to go to war with anyone who questions his rule.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're ashamed to nuke Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah. So on a slightly more light-hearted note, Twitter drama.
Yes.
We do enjoy a bit of Twitter drama.
We do enjoy a little trolling.
Yeah. So, some dumb shit whose name I don't care about, but is a verified fuckwit. You can tell this by the little blue checkmark next to his name. I feel America has forgotten we're still in the middle of a pandemic that has killed more than 600,000 people. I swear it was 300,000 people last month, but okay. And there's a deadly Delta Plus strain. Ooh!
Ooh!
And our kids are still not vaccinated. So, yes, the kids who won't fucking die from the disease.
Or get sick from it, or...
Yeah, or even notice. I see packed restaurants and people inside stores and malls and their kids aren't wearing masks. I feel I'm in a horror movie, says the crazy man. But George Alexopoulos... Fucking
you know the guy. You've seen.
You'll
I'm
recognize
pretty
this
sure everyone
art.
here has seen his work. He made the comic of it.
Yep. Very funny comic. I see people packing malls, restaurants, parks, and none of their kids are wearing masks. It feels like I'm living in a horror movie. Horror movie. Horror
Yeah.
movie. Everyone go look up Skyhook.
The guy actually found the comic and tweeted about it.
Which is fucking hilarious. I think they really captured my eyes. Also, my bad that I think coronavirus exists. No one's arguing that. People should vaccinate. No, they shouldn't. People are arguing that. Kids aren't vaccinated yet. Sure, and they will be when they get to 40. And the Delta variant is real. Sure it is, but it's more infectious. Yes, but less deadly because that's how viruses work. And dangerous for those who aren't vaxxed, debatable. Almost certainly untrue if you're under 60. I am a fearmonger. Yes, you are. Critical race theory made me this way. What? What?
Literally just unrelated. But, you know, that's another thing the rightoids hate, so I'm gonna throw it in.
Well, critical race theory made him this way. Well, clearly that's another reason to get rid of it. Let's ban it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay with banning that.
I agree. Yeah. It's the typical straw man, you know? They just made up a position that the guy doesn't actually believe. Oh, you believe the coronavirus doesn't exist. Wrong. And then he tries to defeat that.
Well, of course they argue that, because they have no argument for our actual points.
So, not the Bee made an article about this, and they labeled it as BlueAnon, which is good. BlueAnon is essentially, you know, the Democrat version of QAnon, because they believe in certain conspiracies, and we need to attack that. Because while they claim you're a tinfoil hatter, they will also hold the belief that Putin stole the 2016 election.
Yep.
Russiagate is BlueAnon. The piss tape. You guys remember that? The piss tape is BlueAnon. The redacted virus not being man-made is also BlueAnon. These are their conspiracies.
I've got a new conspiracy theory I would like to share with the group.
All right, go ahead.
Right.
Okay. So, you know, you keep hearing about the disappearance of bees.
Right.
I got confused about the Babylon Bee.
No, just bees, normal bees. They're constantly saying all the bees are going missing. There's not enough bees. I think this is because Xi Jinping has been hoarding all the bees for his own honey supply.
Winnie the Pooh's been
makes
hoarding all the honey, huh? Makes sense to me. Well, hey, what's the difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth? 6 to 12 months.
Yeah. Alex Jones saying it on his podcast.
If it's only a matter of time until he's proven right. It's fucking terrifying.
He's been right about just about everything else so far, hasn't he?
Well, interestingly enough, the stuff that he's right about is the scariest stuff.
Yeah, there's this bit of footage from the 90s, 97 or something. It's like the only surviving old Alex Jones footage online, at least on me. And it's Alex Jones doing like a Halloween special, and he gets a call asking him about using the government using infrared to spy in your house. And it's like, yeah, it's called FLIR, and the Austin police department have it. And that's right. Even back then, he was right, and people were calling him crazy.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I've done work with FLIR before. So,
yeah.
Really fucking. I mean, you have no idea what their thermal imaging equipment is capable of.
Actual predator vision.
Oh, better than that. Way better than that. Yeah, like, I mean, I did some work with them, I would say 15, 16 years ago. Something like that. About maybe 15 years ago. And the camera at the time cost, the one I was thinking about cost about £80,000 or something. And I could very quickly I had a party trick in the office where I could tune it so that I could see exactly what sort of underwear the women in the office were wearing. Like, because it could see a variance in temperature of like,
yeah,
and it was like 0.2 of a degree or something, 0.2. And then once you got it calibrated right, the difference in the thickness of the material of their underwear, their bras and things, you would be able to, because of the amount of heat that was being projected by the body, you could see. So like you would be able to completely detail the if it had like details on it, lacy bits. Yeah, you would see it all because of the difference. And like now they can tell the color in pitch darkness. They can tell the color of your clothes.
Wow.
By the amount of, because the difference in the heat absorption.
But I know they even have like you can get flare cameras for your iPhone or stuff like that nowadays.
Yeah, they cost nothing now. I mean, they were hugely expensive. One of the things they were working on. Wow, I mean, I'll tell you what I was working on. It was a smaller camera to go into a tactical helmet that would provide a thermal overlay in a HUD. So you wear a tactical combat helmet and have a thermal overlay in the HUD of the terrain that you were seeing.
Very nice.
To pick out targets and stuff, and it was hugely expensive. It was sort of $100 or $1,000 a helmet at the time, and you can just go into a motorcycle store now and buy that for your motorbike helmet. I mean, that's commercially available technology. You can have it.
Well, there you go.
But that's the sort of military tech is decades past what is available commercially.
There's two types of engineering. There's the engineering of developing new stuff, and then there's the engineering of making existing stuff cheaper.
Yeah, that's what the Chinese are very good at. It's scaling things down and making it cheap. But they can't.
But they're not very good at making new stuff.
That's why they steal it all. It's to do with their school system, really. It's because they teach them by literally they teach everybody by rote memory. They don't learn to think. They've got no critical thinking skills. They've got no path analysis or anything like that. It's the same thing in Singapore. I'll tell if you don't mind, I'll take a couple of minutes to explain the thing that happened in Singapore when I lived there, and this is a excellent. It really sums up the problems that they have educationally in Asia in general. So there was a place we used to go for lunch. It was like a shopping mall, and it had a big sort of open area in the center. And every week there'd be something different going on in there. They'd have like pop-up shops and competitions and all sorts of shit. And on this particular day, they were having a speed trial for Legos, right?
Okay.
So they had a bunch of kids. The kids would have been maybe 8 to 10 years old, and basically they all the kids were getting groups of kids up onto a stage, and they all got the same little Lego kit, and they timed them to build it. You know, and that was the competition, and there was some sort of prize, and I don't know. But anyway, they penned off a bunch of these kids. The kids were sitting in this little pen, and there was 1 million tons of Lego in the pen, and they were just dicking about. And as we were eating our lunch, they led up a group of kids, 8 or 10 kids, and there were 2 blonde children, a boy and a girl, that were obviously the kids of an American. On with 6 of the Asian kids. And they did the time challenge, and they got absolutely fucking annihilated. To the point where they were the host was joking about them being slow, making fun of them for being slow at producing. Yeah. But they were slow at putting this piece of Lego together from the instructions that they gave. And that's the thing, right? So we'd finished our lunch, and we came down, and we were waiting for our bus to come. And we were stood near this fucking pen, and as we sort of looked in, the little blonde American boy had built a spaceship,
Mm-hmm.
and he was, flying it around the air in his hand. And one of the a couple of Asian kids come up to go, "Wow, that's amazing!" And one of the kids went, "Oh, where did you get the instructions for that?" And the American kid goes, "No, I just made it.
I built it myself.
I just made it." And the Asian kid went, "How?" And me and my buddy just looked at each other and went, "Yep, that is exactly the fucking problem." And that's why we were out in Asia in the first place. Overseeing this job. It wasn't that the guys couldn't build the fucking thing, but the problem is every time something happens, it's out with their script. They've got no problem solving capabilities, just none at all. It's like, well, what do I do now? Because they've literally bred problem solving out of their people. They've just everybody at the fucking robots. It's not a joke.
I'm afraid that to some extent, the school system is beginning to do that nowadays in the West as well.
Well, it makes very effective workers,
but not very effective thinkers.
No.
Problem solvers.
Well,
but I mean, like Singapore is rebuilding its education system as we speak. Of this, they've recognized that what they've ended up doing is creating this problem, and they have to constantly hire in expat management. Like every major company in Singapore is managed by a Singaporean, but everybody in the immediate management team below him will be expats, and then everybody will be Singaporean. But in every major company, there's a massive, sub-management team that's all expats. Because they're the only people that can get anything done.
Makes sense.
They can fix every time there's a problem, someone has to be asked. It's really true. It's crazy, but it is the case.
How much do you think this would affect China if the war did break out?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They'll be fine as long as everything goes to plan.
But if it doesn't,
well, they don't have a thinking. The average man on the street doesn't. I would imagine Chinese soldiers do exactly what they're told and nothing else.
Which is very good news. So what if they have 10 times the soldiers if you shoot the officer and they all just stand around with both thumbs up their ass?
Yeah, that's pretty much my My thinking on it.
It's like in video games where you fight mutant ants, giant mutant ants, and you kill the queen ant, and all the ants don't know what to do anymore, and they leave you alone.
Basically.
Yeah, I think the Taiwanese might kick their ass.
I certainly hope so. Alright.
But I'm 100% sure if a war does break out, you'll have the exact same thing Orwell noticed in his time with the intellectuals, where they would kind of hope that the West fails, but at the same time not really want what comes after it.
Yeah. The ones who don't want their own side to win, but don't want the other side to win either.
Yep.
Well, the important thing to remember is for the veterans to rise, the first have to be veterans.
Do you guys have anything else for the night? Because we've run out of our pre-planned content.
No, I think this is all I have.
Okay. Solomon's brought up the story about Make-A-Wish allegedly stating that the kids need to be vaccinated. I haven't been able to find anything on that from anything remotely resembling a proper source. So,
well, weren't we informed that it's actually from Babylon B?
Yeah, apparently that's one of the places it came from. But yeah, apparently there was an edited video involved and everything. So, and I'll do some more research.
I'm glad it's not real.
Yeah, I certainly am. But I'll look into it some more as the week goes on. But won't cover that today, just because we don't know. We like to think we have some integrity.
We'd like to think that the world isn't that bad.
Oh God, I'd like to think not, but yeah. We will wait for some more information. If it turns out to be true, well, we'll cover it. If it turns out to not be true, we'll cover the fact that it wasn't true, but it's too early to make a call, though I'm angling more towards not being true at this time.
And I'll be working on a few topics. Hopefully, we'll have an article out by next podcast.
Oh, excellent. Looking forward to it. And that'll be on our website, sultansofshadilay.com. Guys in the chat, I'm going to assume that all you guys aren't going to too much interested in the cuts that Trim and I put together. Because I'm assuming if you're still here at this time, you've seen everything and you don't want to go back. But if you have any opinions on whether that stuff's worthwhile or not, love to hear them. You know how to get in touch with us. Is there anything else, guys?
No.
All right. Thank you guys in chat for joining us. Thank you, Cap and Oil, for hanging out all night.
Thank you for inviting me.
No, it's good to
Guys,
have you.
I would just like to continually touch on the fact that the beard quality is getting very, very poor. And I do expect people to improve.
Right. So there you go. Official commandment from Oil. We need to improve the beard quality.
Yep.
We will have to investigate that. All the women must have beards as well, just like the dwarves.
Yes.
I was thinking more like a bride.
You see, Oil is saying that we need to improve the beard quality even with women because that's all the women in Scotland have beards.
Factually accurate.
Based. Yeah, we'll call it here for tonight. We will be back same time, same bad place next Friday, half an hour after the Load Seeders. We are currently working on trying to do a bit of a book club and reading of The Abolition of Man, which we were doing at, I can't be bothered to work out time zones, 11 AM plus 10 GMT. And yeah, if you'd like to come hang out, join us in the book reading room, and while we go through that. Solomon says, get a token Armenian woman, they'll cover the beard part. Sounds good.
It's a very good book, and I would highly recommend. If you don't have the time to read it, at least join in the book reading. You'll have it read for you.
Exactly. And it is being recorded, so when it's done, I'll be able to edit it into a lovely audiobook to go up on my channel, and then we'll have the discussion as well as another video for a book club that will be something you can just put on in the background to have a listen to if you're bored. Other than that, thank you all again for joining us, and we will catch you next time. Have a good night, everybody.
Shadilay.
Shadilay.